What is up, hooligans, and happy freedom. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Hooligans, where we try to make the news suck a little less. I appreciate all of you guys being here. If you're over on Rumble, please hit that like button. More likes equals more hooligans. I'm trying to see if we're blurry or not, damn it. I don't know. If we're blurry over on Rumble, then things are worse than I thought. Yeah, actually we are. I actually changed the way that we run this live stream just to make it more compatible, because I thought that's what was wrong with Rumble. And after I made those changes, which were very big changes, it's still blurry over on Rumble. That's crazy. Rumble needs to get their shit together. But we're nice and clear over on jeffmaclive.com because I paid the cost to be the boss, and now we have our own live stream player over on the website, so we are not tethered to Rumble anymore. Anyways, let's read through the schedule really quick, and then we will check on all the chats. So let me know how you guys are doing. Well, President Trump was supposed to be live at 2 p.m. Eastern time, which was 30 minutes ago. I was kind of hanging out waiting for him to go live, but it's been pushed back to 4 p.m. Eastern time. It's titled, President Trump Attends National Faith Summit in Powder Springs, Georgia. But like I said, it got pushed back 2 hours. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I got Right Side Broadcasting pulled up. We'll see if he shows up early, but I don't know. Later on today, supposedly 6 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know how they're going to swing that. President Trump is supposed to be holding a MAGA rally in Atlanta, Georgia. We'll see how it goes, because if this has been pushed back 2 hours, I don't know how he's going to make it to the MAGA rally 2 hours after that. We'll see. We'll see. Now, before we get any further, I want to remind you guys really quick, if you would like to join the website, right now is the time to do it. Go get yourself a membership for jeffmaclive.com. That way you can watch today's live. You can post in Hooligans Alley. Plus, you'll be able to join us Fridays, 6 p.m. Eastern time for our voice chat, which is a lot of fun. So definitely go get yourself a membership for jeffmaclive.com. We'll be starting off with a video titled, Joe Biden calls out Elon Musk for working in the U.S. illegally. Some of this I will have to read out loud because they're just doing captions on the screen and whatnot. But they play old man Walter talking that shit, saying that Elon Musk, before he migrated here, he was on a school visa, and instead of going to school, he was working. So he's an illegal worker or something. I don't know. They only care when Elon Musk does it, I guess. I don't know. Then we have a very interesting propaganda piece here. It's titled, Violent Threats Against Poll Workers Increasing Ahead of Election. Well, they're saying these radical MAGA people out here are attacking election workers. And then at the end of the video, they just sad and pathetic. Just so sad and pathetic. They're putting window clingies on the windows. You can get them at Walmart. They come in big rolls and stuff. And you can put it on the windows so it blurs the window so you can't look through the glass. Well, it shows them doing that, making it so you can't see through the glass, where ballots are being dropped and shit like that, and they're claiming that putting that window clingy on there makes the glass bulletproof. For real. They really think that. They think putting window clingies on windows makes them bulletproof. The news is fucking telling you that. Like, it's so crazy. That's why I put it as video number 2. I was like, we're going to have to move this up in the schedule. It is just outstanding propaganda that they're putting out there. Then we got a video titled, Lifelong Democrat Says Invasion of Violent Criminals is Changing Her Vote. This woman must live where the TDA gangs are taking over, that Tren de Aragua, or however you say that nonsense, the Venezuelan gangs. She lives there. She lives nearby. She sees it going on. She talks about it. And instead of people doing something, they just censor her. So she got the attention of President Trump. And apparently one of these events we covered, she spoke. And she's being interviewed on the news. So we're covering it. Then we have a follow-up video here. It's not exactly breaking news, but it's titled, Quarter Pounders Back on McDonald's Menu After the E. coli Scare. So you can go get your double Quarter Pounders now. They're not coming with onions, though. Then we got a video titled, Trump's Madison Square Garden rally included more than 24 guest speakers. This is a little bit of a highlight reel of what happened during yesterday's MAGA rally. It was amazing. It was amazing. I wish I could have been able to cover it. I watched a little bit of it. I seen Alina Habba come out there. She was having herself a good time. Dr. Phil was there. There was all kinds of people there. Couldn't cover it, though. I wasn't in a position to. I was watching it on my phone and stuff, out running errands and whatnot. And I did call the people about my car, because today is day 11 without my vehicle. And they told me they were going to call me back in 5 minutes, and that was an hour and a half ago. So I don't know what's going on with my car. Maybe I'll never be able to drive again. God only knows. Anyways, next up after that, we have the left crying really hard about the Madison Square Garden MAGA rally. They were really butthurt, stuffed that man pond too deep. It's titled Racist, Sexist Remarks Litter Trump Madison Square Garden Rally. Like I said, they're just crying really hard. Then we have Hyena Harris. It's 5 minutes of Hyena Harris, and it is brutal. It's brutal, but the reason we're covering it because it's the first instance of her actually talking to reporters. It's titled Hyena Harris Comments on Trump's Madison Square Garden Rally. She's getting off a plane or getting on a plane or hopping off a wiener. I'm not exactly what she was doing, but she was doing something at the airport, caught a bunch of reporters, and went over there to cry really hard about how great MAGA is. And then our last little bit of the news is titled Ballot Drop Boxes Set on Fire in Oregon and in Washington State. So there's some arson going on. They're really soft-handed with how they label all this nonsense, but it sounds like Antifa's out there doing what they do, burning these ballot drop boxes out here. It's no good. It is no good. That was actually provided to me by, I think it's Michelle. So thank you, Michelle. Shout out to you. Thank you for getting me this story. So then we have two funny videos of the day. The first one, we're going to play almost the whole Kill Tony bit from the Madison Square Garden rally because the whole thing is hilarious, and they talk about censorship, and he reminds me of gay, funny Josh Hawley. Yeah, it's that good. We're going to play 10 minutes of it for our first funny video of the day because it's fucking hilarious. And the fact it's being censored because people think it's controversial. Fuck that. Then we have an official funny video of the day that is titled Trump on Trump Violence. All of that's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see how you hooligans are doing today. What is up, everyone over on jeffmaclive.com. What's up, Russell? What's up, Snooks? What's up, Annette? What's up, Guess Some J? What's up, Hair Juicer? What's up, Tom Tom? What's up, Matt? What's up, Astro Hammer? What's up, Cadillacs? What's up, Damsel? And what's up, Alistair? Happy freedom, you hooligans. Appreciate all of you guys being on the website. And what is up, everyone over on Rumble? Mr. B New, you were first today. I appreciate you racing to the chat, Mr. B New. What's up, MU? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Pumpkin? Appreciate you being here. What's up, Puffin Stuff? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Elder Zoomer? Appreciate you. What's up, Jeffro? What's up, Grun? What's up, Mr. Satan? Let me see. Scrolling through. What's up, Let's Go, Brandon? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Silver Wolf? Appreciate you being here. What's up, Spicy K? Let me see. Did it straighten out over on Rumble? See, it's still blurry on Rumble. I don't know what to do about that. Rumble keeps telling me they're going to reach out to me and we're going to get this fixed, and then they just don't. I don't know. It's driving me nuts. What's up, Kevin? What's up, Paul? Happy freedom to you. Make sure I get everybody. What's up, Libby Racer? What's up, Boosted Flames? Happy freedom. Make sure I get everybody. What's up, Trop? Don't forget, hit that like button over on Rumble. See if you can get us on the front page, and maybe Rumble will pay attention to us. What is up, everyone over on Kick? What's up, Find It, Fix It? Happy freedom to you. And what's up, everyone over on Twitch? What's up, Rods? Happy freedom. What's up, Prison Mike? Appreciate you being here. What's up, Frosty? Let me see if I got everybody. What's up, Tony Rich? Happy freedom. What's up, Matt Rogers? Appreciate you being here. And what is up, everyone over on the communism platform? Matt Rogers, you're omnipresent. Appreciate you. What's up, Danny? Happy freedom. Mr. Satan, you're omnipresent. Appreciate you. What is your name? What's up, Mary Beth? Happy freedom. What's up, Nagasaki? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Sage Pup? What's up, Cheeky Chops? Appreciate you being here. What's up, Proud Patriot Girly? Did you get my email? I think so. Yes, that's you. Thank you so much for sending me that story because I didn't see it until you sent it to me. What's up, Scott Johnson? Happy freedom. What's up, Kip? What is your... Oh, what's up, Alistair? Happy freedom. All right, hooligans. Now, before we get started, I got to show you just something. It's amazing. Oh, come on. Get the little thing out the way. You see this? This is from Astral Hammer. This is the only time you're going to see me on a horse. Looking like Walker, Texas Ranger. Love it. I don't know. I was trying to get everything set up. Astro Hammer's over here posting memes and shit. We're going to have to make Alistair put that on a t-shirt because it's nice. Anyways, I'll show you what we're looking at with Right Side Broadcasting. As I was saying, it appears that they have pushed everything back 2 hours. I don't know what's going on. See, Trump expected to speak at 4 p.m. Eastern time. It's currently 2:38 over here Eastern time. I don't know what's going on with President Trump. He's late. I mean, I'm late, but he's getting later every day, and I think people are gonna start bitching about it. I don't think it's gonna sway votes. You're not gonna vote for communism because President Trump's a couple hours late, but I think it's gonna hurt numbers. I think eventually these rallies aren't gonna have the numbers they should have because people are worried about time and stupid shit. Hope not. Either way, I think people are gonna miss the rallies. That's what I really think is gonna happen. I think people are gonna miss the rallies once we get the Orange Eagle in office. Anyways, we're going to be starting with this first video here. This is Joe Biden calling out Elon Musk for working in the U.S. illegally. I don't even know what to think about this. They claim it's true. But it doesn't sound like they're doing charges against Elon or any goofy shit like that. Just bad publicity, I suppose. Either way, before we get into this, I want to remind you guys we have these Ultra Dark MAGA Hope t-shirts. Comes in shirts for men, shirts for women. Tank tops for men, tank tops for women, pullover hoodies, zipper hoodies, coffee mugs, stickers, dog tags, and I even made bumper stickers. This design was created by Alistair. Alistair's a badass. I will drop the link to the merch store. I'll also drop Alistair's link in case you want to hire him for some creative stuff, because he's the man. Post the links in the chat while we're watching this first video.
He has literally spoken out and said he's opposed to it. And his new the wealthiest man in the world is now his ally, right? Well, that wealthiest man in the world turned out to be a legal worker here when he was here. Oh, I'm serious. He was supposed to be in school when he came on a student visa. He wasn't in school. He was violating the law. And he's talking about all these illegals coming our way.
So a lot of this is redundant, this stuff they have on the screen here. The text is big enough for you guys to read it yourself. I'm not going to worry about reading it to you. But like I said, a lot of this is redundant. This biggest part, despite all the allegations by the oldest ever sitting president, Musk denies the claims. That's the majority of the captions. Everything else is pretty redundant, but I'll let you read it. Musk smoking them, saying, oh, now he cares about illegals. Musk says, I was in fact allowed to work in the U.S. The Biden puppet is lying. Look at that old fart screaming his face off. Elon Musk going Super Saiyan. Well, hooligans, like I said, a lot of that is redundant, but they kind of claim it's true. Elon Musk says, obviously, that he denies it. He says it's all nonsense. But the Washington Post says that they got receipts, that they got documents proving this stuff, saying that he was supposed to go to school here, but he never enrolled into classes. Instead, he just started working on one of his endeavors. I don't know. Why didn't they care about this back then? Why does it matter now? That doesn't make any sense to me. It just matters all of a sudden 8 days before the election. Now it matters. It didn't matter when he was doing it. He's legally here already. He's already migrated and stuff. Why does it matter now? Back, when he was on visas and stuff. That obviously he shouldn't have been breaking the law. Breaking the law is wrong, whether he's voting for President Trump or not. But they should have worried about that when he was breaking the law, not now, not 8 days before the election. Doesn't make any sense. Anyways, let's see where we are in the schedule here. I do got Right Side Broadcasting pulled up, so if President Trump just magically appears, we will put him on the screen. Don't you worry, you're not going to miss President Trump. Next up, we have violent threats against poll workers increasing ahead of the election. And I know you think it's Antifa, but it's not. They're claiming it's radical MAGA out there threatening election workers, and they're trying to... I don't know what they think. Just, and if that's not bad enough, they claim that putting window clingies on the glass makes it bulletproof. I can't believe that they believe that. Or maybe they don't believe it. They're just trying to get you to believe it. All I know is putting window clingies on your window will not make it bulletproof. Don't believe that bullshit. That is fucking false. That is false nonsense. Anyways, that's coming up next. But first, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about old man Walter trying to claim that Elon Musk was working illegally whenever he was here on visa. Oh, Klaus Daniels, you made it. It's good booty. It's good booty. Everybody saying hi. What's wrong with you? You all tuckered out? Yeah, communism don't fight itself. Matt, Pennsylvania is also suing Elon over the money giveaway. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work because Elon's not telling people to register to vote or anything. If you read the page that I've sent you guys multiple times for his, what is it called? I can't even think of what it's called now. Hold on, I got it wrote down. His petition. The petition is for pledging your support for free speech and the Constitution, and it allows you potentially win some money. But it doesn't tell you that you have to go register to vote, that you should vote for Trump, that you need to get out there and vote. It doesn't say any of that. It's just, do you support free speech and the Second Amendment? And it says the whole Constitution, but it highlights the Second Amendment. If you support it and you sign the petition, that's all you're pledging. So yeah, those people in Pennsylvania, they're going to find out the hard way. They're going to find out the hard way. Russell, pasties make nipples bulletproof. See, I didn't think about that, but you're probably right. Did the soldiers wear pasties? Because we're going to have to hook them up. We didn't know that they were bulletproof until the Democrats said so. Snooks, my cat Snookums, didn't sleep much, and at times I sure wish she did. Klaus Daniels, he's a napper. He likes napping it up. Hair Juicer, when he was building PayPal, that monster, not like freeloading individuals hurting children. Yeah, Hair Juicer, for real. Russell, the article sounds fishy, sounds like propaganda. They're putting out so much propaganda right now. They're so butthurt, especially after yesterday's event. That was something else. That was like another 4th of July. It was like we got an extra 4th of July this year. I don't know, it was crazy. I feel like I was hearing static or something. Matt, if Joey said seriously, it's most likely a lie. Yeah, I assume it's a lie. Otherwise, they probably would have went after him. Hair Juicer, did you ever get the cowboy hat? I did. Don Sparks sent it to me. If you scroll up enough, I think Zero posted a picture, and then Astral Hammer took it and made it a little better. What's up, Cassie J? Happy freedom to you. Puffin Stuff, PAAG is taking Musk to court over $1 million a day. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to do anything to him. It's his money, and he's not asking people to do anything other than, say that they support free speech and the Second Amendment. That's that, Pumpkin, that's all they have left is propaganda. Well, I worry about another Butler, Pennsylvania event happening because they always got that in the chamber. It scares the shit out of me, but lying and bad things, that's all they got. Lying and violence. Paul, Klaus Boy likes listening. Yeah, he has to hear my bullshit all day. He might as well nap while he's doing it. Jeff Rowe, That has no grounds of anything on Elon, because like you said, he's a legal citizen now. Yeah. Well, I feel like maybe they could try to do something to him, but I don't know what they would be able to do. Because when he migrated here, they had to put him through an evaluation. He obviously passed the evaluation. So if they were going to get him on working on a school visa, they probably would have did it during the evaluation. Somehow they looked over it, if it's true, and shouldn't really matter now, especially 8 days before the election. Kevin, shoot the glass and show them it's bullshit. I would. Well, you can't exactly use guns like that, despite how they try to portray Americans on TV. Can't really use guns like that, but maybe that's their ploy. Maybe they're putting clingies on the windows telling everyone they're bulletproof, so someone will come show them they're wrong, and then they get to cry like little victims and say, oh my God, the radical MAGA, they're here again. La-di-da-di. What's up, Mary Todd? Happy freedom to you. I think one of my fans is dying on my computer. I'm hearing this like rattling sound. What's up, Neon Love Machine? What's up, Lisa? Happy freedom to you. Pumpkin Rumble's looking good on your end. Well, as long as you guys can tolerate it. I'm tired of the blurriness, though. It's driving me nuts. Pumpkin. Congratulations, Alistair was the one that finally got you on your horse. And you look good. I was Astral Hammer that put me on the horse, but thank you, Pumpkin. Yep. What's up, Darth Blaze? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Post Malone? Happy freedom to you. Just got back from early voting. That's badass, Post Malone. Heck yeah, I'm so excited to go vote. It's coming up a week from tomorrow. Buck, floating island of garbage wasn't helpful. Yeah, I think we're going to include that in today's funny video of the day. I don't know, that Kill Tony stuff was funny. People who don't like it are soft. Tony Rich, the left's desperation will build. Yeah. Like I said, I'm worried about how Antifa and them are going to behave starting November 6th. I mean, as long as we make it that far. Farmer Pierce, a Michigan man has already won from American PAC. What do you mean? Someone here has already won? I don't know what you're talking about, Farmer Pierce. I haven't heard anything about it. What's up, Killer J? Happy freedom. Yeah, grasping for straws. Exactly. What's up, Two Ruby Shoes? Happy freedom to you. Yep, I'm going to have to see about that fan rattling. I'm not going to sit here and listen to that shit. After the live, I'll have to get in the guts of the computer. What's up, Guy? Happy freedom. What's your name? What's up, Marshax? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Mike? Antifa's going to start wearing MAGA hats? Probably. Wouldn't surprise me at all. What's up, Lone Wolf? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Too Real? I'm waiting for the Kamala P. Diddler pics and videos getting ready to come out. But remember, if it's all AI and Trump's, or remember, it's all AI and Trump's fault. That's real, Too Real. Or it's, you're right, Too Real. I'm having a day already. I know. I'm waiting for it too. I think Kill Tony said that yesterday for the Super Duper MAGA rally. He said every time, so many people from Hollywood and all that have come out to endorse Hyena Harris, it's starting to look like a Diddy party. And everybody liked that stuff because it's true. Lone Wolf, $1 million winner, west side of Michigan. Oh, really? Should have been me. Should have been me. I wanted to win the $1 million hairs. Holy. What's up, Shake and Bake? Happy freedom. What's up, Glimmer of Freak? Happy freedom to you. All right, hooligans. Still nothing going on with this Trump stuff. Apparently, he's going to be there in about an hour, so keep my eye on it. Like I said, this next video here is crazy propaganda. It's titled Violent Threats Against Poll Workers Increasing Ahead of Elections. It says the radical MAGA people, they claim that window clingies make your windows bulletproof. I mean, they're crying their little eyes out. Crying their little eyes out. I've been telling that to people on X. Those people go out there and they start talking all that shit, talking bad about President Trump and how they're all crying real hard because he's gonna win and all this stuff, and I'm just cry your little eyes out, and they hate that, but they can go ahead and do that. We're gonna start selling these hooligan hankies. Anyways, once again, this propaganda is titled Violent Threats Against Poll Workers Increasing Ahead of Election. Let's get this rolling, and don't forget, hit that like button over on Rumble.
Voters are increasingly worried that the country will see election-related violence next week. According to a new Associated Press NORC survey, about 9 in 10 registered voters say the loser should concede once every state is done counting votes and legal challenges are resolved. But only about a third think Trump will accept the results and concede if he loses. And about 4 in 10 of voters surveyed say that they're extremely or very worried about violent attempts to overturn the election. News Nation's Xavier Walton joining us live from Dallas, Texas this morning. And Xavier, Texas has already seen violence break out at some of its polling places. What went down there?
Well, Marky, it's stories like these that make people concerned and worried, like you just mentioned there. But essentially, a man in his 60s showed up to vote, was waiting in line, had a MAGA hat on, a poll worker, election worker, also in his 60s, asked him to take it off. And that's when things, they took a turn, to say the least. This actually happened in San Antonio, Texas. And the man, Jesse Lutzenberger, here he is here.
Look at that radical.
Laid out what happened. But that man here arrested and accused of assaulting a 69-year-old election worker. So he actually took off his hat, then he voted, but on his way out of the building, he put the hat back on. The election clerk tried to escort him out and asked him again to remove the hat. The sheriff's officials say, hey, that's when Lutzenberger started punching the clerk in the face and chest multiple times. But it's that safety of these polling places around the country that really is top of mind, as you mentioned. Check out this video from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, where workers actually put up a bulletproof protective covering on the inside of the window. People can see outside the building, but they cannot see inside. They say the move was taken after recommendations made to the county by federal security experts. Luzerne County, which is where Wilkes-Barre is, implemented several unusual safety measures like this one, also including low barriers, using large rocks to really cover the outside of one of their county buildings there. That gives you a sense of just how safety really is top of mind when it comes to this election.
Yeah, really sad and really scary to see. And yeah, Xavier, if I'm racking my brain correctly, I think that county has faced multiple threats over the previous years as well. Praying for safety for everybody come November 5th. Xavier Walton, thanks so much. Thanks for watching, everybody.
You see them unrolling that bulletproof glass clingy they got there? That's very nice. That's the good stuff. That's the good stuff there. Stupid. These Democrats are so fucking stupid. I can't even believe it. Never, ever have I ever seen anything like that. Yeah, they're making the glass bulletproof. No, they're not. No, they're fucking not. You really think that? Try and stick a pen through the glass. See if you could do that. Because pens aren't stronger than bullets, you idiot. People are so dumb. They're so dumb. That's some of the worst propaganda we've ever covered right there. And there's someone out there that's going to believe that shit. I can't wait to see the post when people are like, well, I'm only going to vote if the election building has bulletproof clingy on it. One guy lost it with an election worker, and now all of MAGA's radical. Yeah, that's all right. You can cry your little eyes out. Next up, we have lifelong Democrats say invasion of violent criminals is changing her vote. Like I said, she either lives in the area or has family that lives in the area, but either way, she's trying to raise awareness about the TDA gangs that are taking over those apartments over in Aurora, Colorado. She started getting censored instead of getting help until she got the attention of President Trump, and now she's out here able to raise awareness because President Trump helped get her a little spotlight. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what your hooligans think about that propaganda right there, about the radical MAGA and their bulletproof clingies they got. And like I said before, let's test that. Yeah, I don't know who sold him that lie. Holy. Here, juicer bulletproof stickers. Fucking sold. I know. I'm about to go to Walmart and pick me up a roll of clingy. I think it's like $18 or something like that. It comes in a whole roll. But I'm going to sell it for $318 and tell Democrats it's bulletproof glass clingies. And I'm probably about to make a killing. If I catch you at Walmart buying my clingy before I get there, we're throwing hands in the parking lot. I got money to make off these Democrats, damn it. Stupids. The stupids that are out there. Snooks, chicken sand bacon. What are you saying? I don't know what you're saying, Snooks. You're going to give me a tongue twister. I'm doing it on my own. Salty Ragu, so wearing pants that say Trump on them. Voting with no pants. Salty Ragu, is there any other way to vote? Gotta go vote. Wieners out. Fuck it. Yeah, Snooks, I need some chicken bacon. For real. So the regular quick to Walmart. If they'd give my damn Subaru back, I'm literally thinking about buying a shit Subaru so I have something to drive until my not so shit Subaru is out of the shop. Like, I'm really considering it. I'm not supposed to have 2 cars, but maybe if I park at the grocery store, like, I'm trying to figure something out. I need a car. I pay all this damn money just not to have a car. It sucks. What's up, 5D? Happy freedom to you. They sell those next to the antiviral plexiglass. What, the bulletproof window clingies? They probably do. What's up, Muskie Boss? Happy freedom. Stopping bullets and COVID sticker. Ah, you get a 2-fer. That's good. That's good. It's worth the whole $16. What's up, Watson? Happy freedom to you. MU Halloween stickies. Those are extra bulletproof. Mary Todd, they definitely do not understand. I'm about to make so much money off of them. What's up, U Hill? Happy freedom. Alistair, oh, yeah, that clingy stuff stops the glass shattering and shrapnel. It's not going to stop bullets, though. It might make the glass look all pretty as the bullets fly through it. Kind of like how windshields are on cars and blows into those little cubes and whatnot. Might get a little of that action. It's not going to stop bullets, though. Betsy, there's still a chance. I know. I'm hoping. Waiting for Elon to call my name. Happy freedom to you, Betsy. Paul, the left gonna riot. They might. We'll be covering it. What's up, Original Dog? Happy freedom. Elisa, I seen a picture of an old lady who had a Trump shirt on. They told her that she couldn't wear it and she voted in her bra. Well, you know, Elisa, modern problems require modern solutions. U-Hill, you can sell bulletproof sandwiches. Like catering at those places, you sell the clingies too. See, they're not ready for all this money making I'm about to go do. They better have their welfare checks ready. I'm saying, we take EBT and all that shit. Oh, God. I'm pissing somebody off today. What's up, 420? Happy freedom. What's up, Master Meatball? Appreciate you being here. Killer J. I gotta get the stuff from my car, my house windows. Pew pew. Yep, exactly. Well, yeah, because when Trump wins, then the Democrats come out. Lone Wolf, Temu has its church window clingies. See, they're not charging enough. They didn't know that stuff was bulletproof. They were unaware. Oh, thanks for being here, Cadillacs. Have a good day. Let me see where we are. Oh, yes. Woman raising awareness about the TDA gangs while everyone decides to censor her. Now, before we get into this, I want to remind you guys really quick. If you would like to participate in Free Speech Saturday, make sure you post all of your memes over on Discord or on jeffmaclive.com. Just hop in the group chats on either platform. You'll see the tabs labeled memes. Drop what you got and we'll shout you out as we're making Saturdays more fun. I'm going to get into this next video here where the TDA gangs have convinced this woman that she needs to vote for President Trump because the Democrats ain't doing shit. This is titled, Lifelong Democrat Says Invasion of Violent Criminals is Changing Her Vote.
I'm a lifelong Democrat. And I got nothing but pushback and called a liar. And I'm going to vote Republican down ballot. And I'm going to do it every year until someone does something about this problem. Hello, my name is Cindy Romero. I'm from Aurora, Colorado. I used to reside at 1218 Dallas Street, apartment 304. I was pushed out of my apartment by gang activity. People carrying guns in the hallway and patrolling the grounds with guns. In this situation, I've been really battled back and forth with the more information I release, the more I'm kicked, the more I'm called a liar, the more I'm said that it's part of my imagination. I have over a year's worth of video, so I have my receipts. I haven't been treated very well by the other people that I reached out to for help. I've been a lifelong Democrat. I reached out to who I thought would help me because I'm a lifelong Democrat. And I got nothing but pushback and called a liar.
You're probably braver than I am. Cindy, come up for a minute, please. Come on up. Make America great again.
We've got to get Trump back in office. It was really, really unreal. I've been invited to meet with Mr. Trump, which meant so much to me because nobody would believe me. And so far, they are the only ones who have come out and said, yes, this is going on, and we support you. It meant a lot to me. It's life-changing, how it makes you feel.
Thank you guys so much for all of your support, for believing me.
This invasion of these people, and I'm not saying migrants because there are plenty of migrants that are here legally trying to do the right thing. This invasion of bad people, criminals with guns, it can't be allowed to continue. And I'm going to vote Republican down ballot, and I'm going to do it every year until someone does something about this problem. I don't want my kids to be the next victims of this.
Well, it's pretty easy to convince people to vote for President Trump at this point. It's only young people, really, that seem to not know, and even them. There's even a lot of young people who want to vote for President Trump just because President Trump's cool as shit. But people are figuring it out because old man Walter brought us all together through suffering, and Hyan Harris says, well, she has no intentions of changing anything that old man Walter was doing. So if anything, things will just continue to get worse. So if you don't like suffering right now, you got to go vote for President Trump if you expect things to change. Otherwise, everything's just going to continue to get worse. Next up, we got that follow-up you guys been waiting on. Quarter pounder back on the McDonald's menu after the E. coli scare. I figured we're following up with the news. We've been covering it the whole time. We might as well get to the end of the story. We don't always get the end, so we're getting to it, okay? Now, before we get on to that, we are going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this lifelong Democrat who's now going to vote for President Trump because they need change. They need it to change for the better. Glad you guys are digging the new player over on the website. I have to pay for data on that player, and hopefully I'll be able to afford it. I'm glad that everything's working because, man, Rumble's been kind of dropping the ball on the quality here. Russell, I'm a Trump maniac. I know, Hulk Hogan was killing it yesterday. That Trump rally was so awesome. I wish I could have covered it. Hugh Hill, yay, murder burgers. Yeah, they're back on the menu. Normal times, it was a nice place to live before the illegals moved in. That's what they say about America in general. I still got a little bit of free speech Saturday in me, I think. I think that's what's going on. Matthew, it's looking all right now? All right. As long as you guys can watch it. I'm just all bent out of shape about how Rumble's been doing us for the last 2 weeks. Alistair, wait. I'm going to vote Republican until someone does something. So then when Trump fixes it, you're going to vote Dem after that? Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what she was talking about, Alistair, but it sounded good. She was trying. Paul, the left's going to burn and loot. Shooty stabby when Trump wins. Yeah, we'll see, Paul. They might, but I think they're going to get resistance. I don't think it's going to be like 2020 where everybody's just wearing a mask and they're all scared and shit. I think when they go out there and they start acting like shitheads again and people start getting that PTSD of 2020 riots, I think they're going to get resistance. I don't think it's going to just be it's going to be a shit show. I will say that. It's going to be a shit show. But I think there's going to be some blowback. I don't think Antifa is just going to have their way with everybody like it was in 2020. Alistair, yeah, we're in heavy Harris area. Lots of thugs here, just nasty people. And I'm out of town a week after the election, worried what I'm going to come home to. Yeah, Alistair, well, you might be okay. I probably wouldn't leave any Trump signs out or anything like that. You know, you're just kind of asking to be targeted after that. It's different when you're home to be able to defend your stuff. But I think you'll be all right. Puff of stuff. Every day makes someone smile and piss someone off, and you'll have great days. Well, I do the second one without even trying, like very little effort, and piss people off. Half the time I piss people off because of what they assume that I'm talking about, not what I'm actually saying. That's like 90% of the time, that's what it is. Kevin, Klaus doesn't look like a what? A Morpheus blob, so quality's good? Awesome. Glad Klaus is not pixelated. It's reading through. Farmer Pierce, do you have the pic of the liberal snowflake on his knees yelling no when Trump won in 2016? He's going to be doing that again this year. Yeah, well, we'll cover the inauguration, all of that. We covered the inauguration when old man Walter took over the White House. That was something to behold. People weren't real happy about it. But then again, only like 12 people showed up to the inauguration. And then after old man Walter and Jill Handler went driving down the way after leaving the inauguration, 70-80% of the military that was standing there lining the road turned their back on old man Walter because they didn't agree with what was going on. We'll be covering this inauguration as well, and it's going to be fantastic. Andrew, new camera video quality is awesome. No, I did change the settings. I was changing things over, but it seems like everything's running smooth now, so I'm thankful for that. I'm glad you guys can see clearer now. Coin, I left Aurora, Colorado and moved to Oklahoma. The weed is better and everyone is armed. I love it here. Damn, that sounds awesome. I have to go check out Oklahoma. I've only heard good things about Oklahoma. Sage Pup. I'm in California. I feel that I'm deep in enemy lines and might need some hooligans to do a rescue mission soon. Well, you let us know, Sage Pup. We got hooligans all over. We actually got a lot of hooligans in Portland and stuff. They'd be able to come swing by and pick you up, no problem. MD Cyron, take no shit. Defend yourself and others. Absolutely. Nobody says we have to eat shit around here. Well, the Democrats do, but, they don't run anything around here. Cheeky Chops, Master Scrotum. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what made you say that, but now I need it tatted. Just let people know. Cassie J, the live's crystal clear. See, I'm glad that our live player is kicking ass right now. Snooks, when it's just you on the screen, it's good. It goes blurry when you stream the news. Interesting. It might be the settings. Russell, gear up for riot season after the 5th. You really need to wear a cowboy hat. Well, we probably will for the riots. We'll see. I'll bust out the cowboy hat. It's nice. It's very nice. I've been looking for excuses to wear it. Well, let's get into this next one. Like I said, you guys have been waiting on this. The Quarter Pounder is back on the McDonald's menu after the E. coli scare. Just following up to our follow-ups here, doing our due diligence. I mean, I wasn't eating McDonald's before or after the E. coli, but maybe you guys do, so this is news for you. Don't forget, hit that like button over on Rumble, and let's get this rolling.
McDonald's has an update on a deadly E. coli outbreak. A popular menu item is now making a comeback. McDonald's is preparing to put the Quarter Pounder back on the menu.
Made with 100% fresh beef. It's perfect.
The burgers will return to roughly 900 restaurants this week after they were pulled in connection with a deadly E. coli outbreak. At least 75 cases have been reported across 13 states. Nearly 24 people have been hospitalized, and one man in Colorado died. The company says testing confirms no E. coli was found in the beef patties used in the burgers. McDonald's says the FDA believes slivered onions from a single supplier, Taylor Farms, are the likely source. The The company saying the issue appears to be contained to a particular ingredient and geography, and we remain very confident that any contaminated product related to this outbreak has been removed from our supply chain and is out of all McDonald's restaurants. The FDA has yet to publicly rule out the patties, a spokesperson saying this weekend the FDA is using all available tools to confirm if onions are the source of this outbreak. For the time being, McDonald's has stopped doing business with Taylor Farms, which has removed its yellow onions from the market. For those McDonald's restaurants that received onions from Taylor Farms, the Quarter Pounders are going back on the menu. They will be sold without those onions for now.
Well, there you go. You can go ahead and get your Quarter Pounders again. Eat a little man-made meat. You'll be all right. That's going to be the first 3D printed meat. They're just not even going to tell us. That's how it's going to go. They'll be like, sorry, we ain't got enough ex-employees to grind up anymore. Just got to 3D print the shit now. I don't know. I know you guys you're all feeling all bent out of shape without your Quarter Pounders. Figure I'd let you know they're back on the menu. Next up, Trump's Madison Square Garden rally included more than 24 guest speakers. This is kind of a highlight from some of the speakers that spoke at the MAGA rally that took place yesterday. That, like I said, it was like a second 4th of July going on over there. It was a whole event. I wish that this highlight reel showed more individuals than what it does. It doesn't. I don't think it shows Dr. Phil. Doesn't show Alina Habba. There were so many people that spoke yesterday. Everybody who spoke did a fantastic job, and I wanted to go through it, but everyone that spoke, they spoke for like 12-15 minutes each. And we'd be sitting here all day watching that stuff, and I know a lot of you did watch it, and there was hooligans that even came to the website to talk with each other in the chat while watching it on other platforms because I wasn't covering it, and that was very heartwarming to see hooligans wanting to be hooligans even while we're not live. Love that so much. So this is a little highlight reel coming up. It's not going to have all the clips, and you guys are going to tell me how disappointed you are, but doing the best I can. We got lots of crying and shit after that because people were so bent out of shape at how super duper the MAGA rally was. It was super duper ultra MAGA, ultra dark MAGA. What did Elon say? Dark Gothic MAGA, because he came out with his own hat. He's got his own dark MAGA hat now. It's got the old English font for the text and stuff. He said it was the Dark Gothic MAGA hat. I don't know. It's starting to sound like cell phones when they come out, the Edge Plus LTD X Pro. Yeah, whatever. Either way, that stuff's coming up next. But first, we're going to read what you hooligans think about the Quarter Pounder being back on the menu. Here, Juicer, if I die from a cheeseburger, please lie. Here, Juicer. Yeah, it's not exactly an honorable death. We'll say that you were fighting Ronald McDonald and he cheated. That's what happened. Russell, no, I don't think I'm gonna say that. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna say that out loud. Holy, but you know that's how it's made. Oh my God. Here, Juicer, I applied to work at SpaceX in Texas and in Florida. It'll be 30% pay cut, but the benefits, they're stellar. They're out of this world. Love it, here, Juicer. Jeffro, Right Side Broadcasting has all the speakers broken down in their own clips. Yeah, but like I said, we'd be sitting here all day. I'm trying to think who else did it. Forbes did the same thing. They cut each speaker down to their own video and whatnot. Yep. Kevin, Soylent Green is people. Yeah, but here in America, they just call it the Big Mac. Free the text. I'm gonna watch it because I wasn't home. It's awesome. I saw a good portion of it. I didn't get to watch the whole thing because, like I said, I had a whole bunch of stuff going on. Otherwise, I would have covered it because I was already sitting there watching it, but I just wasn't in a position to do that. Paul, the FDA does know how to find the source. Yeah, Paul. It's just whether or not they feel like getting off their ass. What's up, Hidu? Happy freedom to you. Hidu, holy heck, I just got here and you're talking about the fake meat. Yeah. Mr. B knew it's not the onions, it's the poop from the blue cities. It could be. Could be. The source isn't in San Francisco, is it? Paul, the Quarter Pounder doesn't even look like that. Not when you get it. Getting catfished by McDonald's. Hate it. U-Hill, only 3% E. coli. It's okay again, guys. That's right. There's only a little doo-doo on the sandwich. You'll be all right. What's up, Rappy? Happy Freedom. Mr. B. New, 100% fresh beef. LOL. Yeah. Laugh right out of my chair. Free Thinking Texan live's clear on Twitch, but not on Rumble. I know, because Rumble is dropping the ball with us. I will reach out to them for the 4th time and see if they'll actually do something. At least they're not blaming me, but it's so obvious that it's not me that it's kind of like they want us to be fucked like this. I don't know. Happy Freedom, Free Thinking Texan. Free Thinking Texan. Jeff didn't cover it because he was sitting in his beanbag chair naked eating Cheetos. No, I wish. I'd have covered it if I was doing all that. No, I had to walk like 40 blocks to Dollar General to eat food that's not food. But I kind of felt full, so there was that. I don't know. If they give my car back, I'd be nice and happy. Killer J, McDonald's almost killed my stupid ass. It's not good. It's not good. And that was before the E. coli. What's up, A-Quest? Happy Freedom. Guy sock meat. No, it might be. It might be. It's just browned up. Andrew, isn't there another huge batch of aliens coming? Yeah, they keep saying that, but I feel like they do that stuff as scare tactics. There's supposed to be 10,000 people or 15,000 people or something coming across the border trying to get here before they turn around and get deported. We'll see. Like I said, they kind of bring that stuff up all the time. Proud Patriot Girly, my kids came over and we did dinner and watched it. That's awesome, Proud Patriot Girly. It was quite the event. What's up, Tara? Happy Freedom. What's up, Agent O? Happy Freedom to you. It's people. It is. All right. I think we're good to go. And McDonald's secret sauce is nothing more than Thousand Island dressing with ketchup. I believe it. I believe it. All right, hooligans. We're going to get into this next one. This is Trump's Madison Square Garden rally, including more than 24 guest speakers. This is kind of like a highlight reel. There is going to be a portion of this that we're going to skip because we're playing Kill Tony's part as one of our funny videos of the day. So when they show his clip, we're going to kind of jump over it to not have any spoilers. But like I said, this is a highlight reel from yesterday's super duper MAGA rally. Let's go ahead and get this rolling. And don't forget, hit that like button over on Rumble.
The United States of America, Elon Musk. I'm not just MAGA, I'm dark, gothic MAGA. Well, the energy in this room is incredible. I mean, at the end of the day, you're being taxed. You're being taxed. All government spending is taxation. So whether it's direct taxation or all government spending, it either becomes inflation or it's direct taxation. Your money is being wasted, and the Department of Government Efficiency is going to fix that. We're going to get the government off your back and out of your pocketbook. And America's just not just going to be great. America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is gonna be amazing!
I'm gonna get so many copyright strikes over on YouTube.
I don't see no stinking Nazis in here. I don't see no stinking domestic terrorists in here. The only thing I see in here are a bunch of hard-working men and women that are real Americans, brother. You know, when I hear my president and our president, Donald Trump, speak, he sounds for real, brother. He sounds like he has a heart of gold that's all for the USA. But when I hear Kamala speak, it sounds like a script from Hollywood with a really, really bad actress.
There's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's in the middle of the ocean right now.
Hold on, let me find where it is. Because like I said, we're going to play this for our funny video of the day, and it is hilarious. We're not going to play the whole thing, but we're going to play 10 minutes of it, but not right now, we're not.
Just know that.
Good evening, New York City.
He's on fire.
Hello, Madison Square Garden. Our hometown, where architectural symbols of strength, courage, and unity create a canvas for the world's undisputed capital of industry.
Like I said, there's a little bit of a highlight there. Alina Habba, she was on fire, but she spoke for like 18 minutes. She was on fire. She was really living in the moment, we'll put it like that. Dr. Phil came out and spoke. He was a little wishy-washy, but he was trying to have a wholesome message there, coming out saying that you may not agree with everything that President Trump says, but you don't have to in order to love somebody, and you don't have to in order to support somebody. Nobody loves or supports 100% of what a person does, but you don't have to have their back. And the message was sort of received. He was saying that stuff and people were booing. They were like, eat shit, President Trump's perfect. Wrong rally. They were saying shit, but it was a good time. It was a good time. Next up, we have Kamala Harris comments on Trump's Madison Square Garden rally. Like I said, it's 5 hard-to-endure minutes of Hyena Harris. She was either getting on a plane, getting off a plane, or just recently on a wiener. But she caught the press. They were all in a gaggle together, and she actually went and spoke to them. And that's the only reason we're covering it, is because she never talks to anybody unless it's a pre-scripted interview. And she actually went and talked to the press. She does sound terrible. She is stupid as dog shit. And we're going to try and endure 5 minutes of it. But it's just because it's historical that she actually spoke to the press. But before we get into that, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about the Super Duper MAGA rally. Let me see here. Actually, no. Next, we're going to cover liberals crying about the MAGA rally. Then we got Hyena Harris. But before we read through the chat, I want to remind you guys really quick, if you would like to join the membership program over on Rumble, all you have to do is click that big red subscribe button right below where you type in the chat. Now, if you are on Android and using the Rumble app, you're unable to see that big red subscribe button. So you got to go to rumble.com, come to the live, hop in the chat, and like I said, right below where you type in the chat, you will see that big red subscribe button. Click that button and jump through the hoops, and your name will be highlighted as an official Rumble hooligan. You'll have access to our custom emojis. We have chapstick emojis, scream and goat emojis, Klaus Daniels emojis, President Trump emojis, and more. It's a lot of fun during the live, especially during a Trump live like we have coming up. So definitely go join the membership program over on Rumble. Like I said, we're going to read through the chat really quick, but next up we actually have libs crying about the Super MAGA rally that happened yesterday. That's titled Racist, Sexist Remarks Litter Trump's Madison Square Garden Rally. That's what's coming up next, but afterwards we have Hyena Harris, so brace yourself. But either way, we're going to read through the chat real quick. What's up, Zero? Happy freedom. Oh no, Annette. I hope you're okay. Snugs, did the Hulk just do the Hawk tuh? He did. It was good. It was good. He did a little too well. No. See, you guys are gonna get me in trouble. Russell, Elon Musk was on fire. Yeah. Yep. Everybody got on stage. Seemed like they were having a fantastic time. Eric Trump spoke as well. Yeah, I think he had his wife with him. I mean, everybody spoke yesterday. Russell, Trump worked at McDonald's 15 minutes longer than me. Me too. I've never worked at McDonald's. I worked at Burger King for a day. I think I made it a day, maybe 2 days. Something like that. I don't know. I didn't like it. It was a shit show. Alistair, oh my God, the press fawned over Michael Obama and how was like a supermodel, but poke shit out of Melania, and she was an actual supermodel. Such bullshit. Yeah, Alistair, and they're going to show Michael Obama, I think, in this next video here. And is Michael going bald? Is that why the hairdo is the way it is? Because there's like this huge, like, receding hairline, and I know women can lose hair and get a little bald and stuff like that. But it looks like male pattern baldness. That's what it looks like to me. And then pulling them dreads back or whatever they got going on is not helping their case. Paul, Melania compared to Jill says a lot. Oh, man. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I never looked at it like that. I don't ever want to look at it like that again. But yeah, that's true. What's up, Fitzy? Happy freedom. Pumpkin, Melania is all right. Glad to see her. Yep. She looked like she was having a time, too. Alistair, I love how they mispronounce her name because it bothers her. Yeah, she claims it's racism. Her name is almost spelled like banana. That's the only reason I can remember it. Fitzy, Hulk got the pump on. He was loving it. He was eating it up. He was getting the crowd fired up, though. He wasn't messing around. He's like the best hype man ever. When we were watching this MAGA rally, it's not even a MAGA rally. It's supposed to be a national faith summit. President Trump was supposed to be on stage at 2 p.m. Eastern time. They pushed it back to 4 p.m. Eastern time, which is about 30 minutes from now. So I'm keeping an eye on it. Hill, watch out. Michael wants to slap you like Will Smith for that. Nah, he don't want these problems. Yeah, he don't want these problems. He's used to banging Obama from behind. I'm not soft like that. They don't want these problems. I throw hands. I wish they'd bring Celebrity Deathmatch back. That show was ahead of its time. Hurley Girl, I will be honest, Tulsi's decision with her hair makes her look like Cruella, and that's not good. I don't know, Hurley Girl. Well, maybe from a woman's perspective. All the dudes I've ever heard talk about Tulsi Gabbard, they like that thing she's doing with her hair. I've said the same thing. She had a Cruella de Vil kind of thing going on with her hair. But other people see her as a silver fox. She's out there just kind of fanning her feathers, a little peacocking going on. Trump's here. Dong's out for Trump. I mean, if that's what you want, that's what you want. They already got tits out for Trump. Remember, the liberals were crying that President Trump was out there signing titties. I'm like, well, that's the guy I'm voting for. Zero, the stripe is natural. Could be. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I don't think that hard about it. Astro Hammer, now that Tulsi Gabbard's gone Republican, it's time to fix her hair. You guys all bent out of shape over her damn stripe. She's trying to let you know she's like a skunk, Don't be messing around. You get the stank. That's how it goes. What's up, Tom Tom? Happy freedom. You worked at Cracker Barrel for 3 days? I mean, sometimes you just know that it's not the place for you, I worked at this place called Luciano's in Ludington. I made it 45 minutes. I saw meat sitting on the floor. Right on the floor. Nah, this ain't the place for me. Get the fuck up out of there. Anyways. Next up, racist, sexist remarks littered Trump Madison Square Garden rally. Yeah, the liberals are all pissed. They're all pissed about it. What's really funny is they were talking about Nazis or somebody like that had some sort of rally at Madison Square Garden, and all these details came out that Bill Clinton was actually at the rally. That is so fucking funny. Anyways, let's get into this. This is racist, sexist remarks litter Trump's Madison Square Garden rally. Brr, brr, brr.
Meanwhile, just 8 days left until the final votes are cast for the 2024 election. And over the weekend, former President Donald Trump held a rally in New York City, while former First Lady Michelle Obama joined Vice President Kamala Harris on the campaign trail in Michigan. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the latest from Washington.
Former President Trump in Georgia today after a rally in New York City last night, where the former president called America a nation in decline, again labeling Democrats the enemy from within.
And when I say the enemy from within, the other side goes crazy, becomes a sound. Oh, how can he say? No, they've done very bad things to this country.
But before he even took the stage at Madison Square Garden, the rally was riddled with racist and sexist remarks. One speaker calling Vice President Harris the devil and the Antichrist, and opening comments from a comedian provoking a lot of responses today.
I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah, I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Prostitute.
Okay, all right, okay. We're getting there.
The Trump campaign reacting with, "This joke does not reflect the views of President Trump or the campaign." Harris was visiting a Puerto Rican restaurant as the Trump rally got underway, posting this to social media.
Puerto Ricans deserve better. As president, I will always fight for you and your families.
Other leaders from both sides of the political aisle are trying to distance themselves from the comedian's comment about Puerto Rico, including Senator Rick Scott of Florida, home to more than 1 million Puerto Ricans, writing, "It's not funny and it's not true." Saturday, Harris campaigning with former First Lady Michelle Obama, who gave a searing argument that Harris faces a double standard.
Some of us are choosing to ignore Donald Trump's gross incompetence while asking Kamala to dazzle us at every turn.
Harris today focuses on manufacturing in Michigan, campaigning with vice presidential candidate Tim Walz for the first time in months. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Yeah, Blue Team doesn't have a sense of humor. That's why they let their clowns read stories to children with their wieners out. Dumb bastards. Anyways, next up, like I said, Hyena Harris, 5 minutes of her doing her best to try and lie and con the cameras for the press who happened to catch her in between flights or whatever she had going on. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about the left crying about Madison Square Garden MAGA rally that, like I said, was such a big event. It was like having a second 4th of July. These people do not have a sense of humor. It's sad that people like President Trump and whoever the senator was or whatever, they got to be like, oh, well, because Kill Tony said funny stuff, we don't believe the same stuff. But so what? Like, he was obviously telling jokes. He was just being funny. Like, geez, get over it. So stupid. Like I said, we're playing not the whole thing, the majority of the Kill Tony bit that happened yesterday because it is funny. The only reason we're not playing the whole thing is because I'm trying to save you guys like 5 minutes or something like that. Otherwise, we would just play the whole thing. We're going to play the funniest part of it, good 10 minutes or so. It's not about it reflecting my beliefs. It's about it being fucking funny. That's what humor's about, being funny. It's not about being 100% accurate or historically accurate or any of that. It's not to be taken seriously. That's what comedy is. And so it's sad. You can't even tell jokes at a fucking rally without people getting all bent out of shape and stupid shit. Gotta defend yourself from jokes. How soft and stupid people are. Either way, like I said, Hyena Harris, 5 minutes of her bullshit's coming up next, but it's historical because she's actually talking to reporters for the first time. It's coming up next. We're reading through the chat. What's up, 10 Man? Happy freedom. See you lurking. Zero, bringing attention to the garbage problem in Puerto Rico. See, I don't even know anything about Puerto Rico. I don't have anything against those people or wherever they're from. Or I don't care about none of that. Doesn't bother me. Whatever they got going on is their problem. I'm minding my own business over here. Sorry that people don't, they can't handle jokes. Goodness. It's reading through. What's up, Crystals? Happy freedom. Tony was just trying to get a feel for the room. Yeah, I mean, he kept saying, you'll hear it when we play the video, but he kept saying, he's like, I don't usually come out after the national anthem. I'm not usually here for a bunch of people at a political rally. He's like, usually I'm talking to a bunch of drunk people in the dark. You know, like he's saying like, don't take it so seriously. Don't take what I say so seriously. I'm up here trying to tell jokes. And some of that is making, hurting feelings. You know what I mean, like shit. And he was going to feel for it. And I think he did all right. I think the room was all right. Maybe some people got a little bent out of shape, but I think the majority of people got the jokes. Mr. B knew Big Mike is a joke. Yeah, you ain't wrong. Nostalgic. Happy freedom to you. If that was a Nazi rally, it was the most diverse one I've ever seen. That's right, Nostalgic. It's funny that they even tried to say that. Oh, it's a Nazi rally. Like, what? Never seen so many Nazis together. Hidu, hate and lies is all they have. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's all they got. Lying and crying and throwing bullets in people's direction. That's all they got left. They better get off of that. Alistair, oh my God, it's a fucking joke. Yeah, for real. The people, they're so soft. People are so soft. Pumpkin, I guess I'm bad. I thought it was funny. Ah, you racist. You bigots in the chat. Gosh, it's so funny. What's up, Peyton? Happy freedom. What's up, D-Cat? Happy freedom to you. U-Hill, wait, Bill Clinton was at the Madison Square Garden rally last night? No, he was at the Nazi rally back in the 90s or whenever it happened. That's what they're comparing it to. There was some, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a Klan rally or a Nazi rally. There was something that happened back in the day, happened at Madison Square Garden. They're comparing this to that 2.0. But what's funny about them raising awareness to what originally happened back in the day is at that event back in the day, the racist event, Bill Clinton was there. And nobody would even focus on that if they weren't trying to compare Trump's rally to that event, which obviously it was. Those two had nothing to do with each other. But the left is so damn desperate and pathetic at the same time that that's all they can come up with. Yeah, Paul, I completely agree. Alistair, MAGA's got white Nazis, black Nazis, Hispanic Nazis, Chinese Nazis, the most inclusive Nazi party ever. It's like the beginning of Dusk Till Dawn. We got white kitties, blonde kitties, black kitties, and all kinds of kitties. Step inside the titty twister. Puff Stuff, Nazi rally was in 39. Clinton accepted the nomination in 92 at the Madison Square Garden. I see. Here, Juicer, my Puerto Rican friend, says, I'm not going back to that fucking island. See? See? Goodness. People just need to learn to laugh again. We gotta make America funny again. Garlic Press, MSNBC trying to compare Trump's rally to a Nazi event shows you how desperate they are. The Nazi rally, let me see. The Nazi rally the Democrats are referring to happened in 39. Yeah. Back in 39, that wasn't that long ago, right? What's up, Stern? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Southern Eagleman? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Chaplain? Chaplain, the Democrats are so butthurt and when the truth is told or even jokes. Yeah, they're soft. They are soft. Checking on this. It's not a rally. I want to call it a rally, but this live event President Trump is supposed to be speaking at. He's supposed to be live in about 19 minutes, so I'm keeping my eye on it. Word. Oof, the Puerto Rico thing was pretty bad. Well, see, I don't know. I'm just not sensitive like that. I think I'm just too desensitized. That's what happens when you're on this side of the camera, I guess. I don't know. What's up, Spirit Matter? Happy freedom. What's up, Bug Farmer? They edit it into some BS to fit their agenda. Yeah, Bug Farmer. That's what they do. Lie, cheat, and steal. And take guns to school. That's all the Democrats do. They're just terrible people. Man, that white streak down Tulsi Gabbard's hair. My first wife had that. Called it the Pepe Le Pew. See, 10 man, look. You get me in trouble reading stuff like that. Hooligans feel really strong about Tulsi Gabbard. I think she might even be in competition with Alina Habba. What's up, Amarine? Happy freedom. Well, I joined at the right moment. Kitties. Well, Amarin, kind of. Those, well, all kitties like to be pet. Anyways, moving forward here. Like I said, we're going to endure 5 minutes of hyena hairs. And I know you guys are like, fuck you, Jeff Mack. You can go ahead and post it in the chat. Probably can on YouTube or Twitch because the platforms are fucking communism-led. But either way, 5 minutes of hyena hairs. Record-breaking. This is historical moments where she actually spoke to the press. I'm sure it was scripted. She probably had her earrings in. She does have her earrings in. I didn't even check until just now. So they're, probably feeding her answers and shit. But either way, historical moment here. She actually staggered over to the press. Let's get this rolling. Don't forget, hit that like button on Rumble. You can go ahead and type fuck Jeff Mack in the chat if you'd like. Let's get this rolling.
Well, briefly, I think last night Donald Trump's event in Madison Square Garden really highlighted a point that I've been making throughout this campaign. He is focused and actually fixated on his grievances, on himself, and on dividing our country. And it is not in any way something that will strengthen the American family, the American worker. It is nothing about what he is saying that is actually going to support the aspirations, the dreams, and the ambitions of the American people. It is absolutely something that is intended to and is fanning the fuel of trying to divide our country. And as I've said many times, I'll say tomorrow night in my speech, there's a big difference between he and I. If he were elected on day one, he's going to be sitting in the Oval Office working on his enemies list. On day one, if I am elected President of the United States, which I fully intend to be, I will be working on behalf of the American people on my to-do list. I'll take any questions, yeah.
Madam President, Michelle Obama said recently that you faced a double standard in this campaign. Do you feel like you've had to clear a higher bar every day than Donald Trump?
My role and responsibility running for President of the United States is to make my case to the American people and to earn their support. And that is why I'm spending time traveling the country to listen to folks and to talk with them about my plans for strengthening our small businesses, my plans for helping people with home ownership, my plans to help young families with children. And that's the work that I'm going to continue to do, not taking anyone for granted, but knowing that I have to earn their support. And my plans and policies, including economists who have reviewed them, point to one fact, which is that my approach will strengthen America in many ways, including our economy. Donald Trump will weaken America and our economy.
Lying about You're making several stops in Michigan today. Can you talk about your final pitch to Michigan voters today?
So I'm heading back to Michigan to talk with working people, with families, with young people about the issues that they care most about. They want to make sure that we're going to lower prices. They know that the price of groceries, for example, is too high. I know it too. So I have a plan to deal with that in terms of a number of things, including dealing with price gouging. They want to know that they have an opportunity to live the American dream around home ownership. That's why my plan about giving people a $25,000 down payment assistance if they're a first-time home buyer matters to the people of Michigan. They care about American manufacturing. I'm going to be talking about that again. My plan includes what we will do to continue to invest in American-based industries, American manufacturing, and American workers. That is how we are going to remain strong and globally competitive and win the competition for the 21st century with China and anybody else.
One follow-up to your remarks about President Trump's rally last night. Some people who watched that made comparisons between a rally that happened at Madison Square Garden in 1939 with neo-Nazis or Nazis back then. Do you see those comparisons? And can you also expand on what he said and what you said yesterday about Puerto Rico?
Donald Trump this is not new about him, by the way. What he did last night is not a discovery. It is just more of the same and maybe more vivid than usual. Donald Trump spends full time trying to have Americans point their finger at each other. Fans the fuel of hate and division. And that's why people are exhausted with him. That's why people who formerly have supported Donald Trump, have voted for him, are supporting me, voting for me. People are literally ready to turn the page. They're tired of it. In terms of Puerto Rico, even when I was in the United States Senate, knowing that Puerto Rico does not have a United States Senator, I was intentional about doing what I could as a United States Senator to make sure that among my priorities, it included paying attention to the needs of the people on that island, including the aftermath of Hurricane Maria. I have announced also my plan that is about my opportunity economy writ large, but a specific target that will include a task force focused on the needs of Puerto Rico, understanding that it has very specific needs in terms of upgrading and repairing its electrical grid, what it needs in terms of investment that will be public-private partnerships. And I'm going to continue to do it. I'm very proud to have the support of folks like Bad Bunny and Jennifer Lopez and others who were supporting me before that nonsense last night at Madison Square Garden, and are supporting me because they understand that they want a president of the United States who's about uplifting the people and not berating, not calling America a garbage can, which is what Donald Trump, those are the words he has used. So there you go. I'll see you later. Okay.
What about terror? Are they friend or foe?
Well, we made it. Hopefully all of us survived 5 minutes of Hyena Harris. I know, it's like Fear Factor without the award at the end. Anyways, finally spoke to the reporters, did a terrible job just as expected, blamed President Trump for everything and, you know, called him names and whatnot. A list of his enemies, because that's what he does. He just sits around and makes lists of enemies. I don't know how she says that when he's live like 3 times a day. She doesn't do shit. Hang out with celebrities that are kid fuckers and names on Diddy party list. I don't know. Either way, next up we got ballot drop boxes were set on fire in Oregon and in Washington State. This story is not about MAGA. They say they don't know who did this, but these ballot drop boxes, they've been torched and hundreds, if not thousands of ballots have been damaged in the process, and everybody in the area has to just call to validate if their ballot's been counted or not, and if not, well, you got to do the whole process over again because you have people out here acting like assholes. You have domestic terrorists. I mean, if you're interfering with the election, and that's exactly what that is, well, then these must be domestic terrorists out here. Sounds like Antifa. Anyways, that's what's coming up next. But first, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about enduring 5 minutes of Hyena Harris struggling to talk to the press. Let's see here. And a young Stalin for Cunt Milla. Yeah, she's so lost. She doesn't know anything about anything. She reminds me of old man Walter. We're going to be 6 months into President Trump's presidency, and she's going to be like, I'm here to give the American people what they really want, blah, 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 blah. Just talking out of her ass. What's up, Chur Crazy? Happy Freedom. Hair Juicer drunk? What is she on? I'm more articulate when I'm on acid. I'm just saying, Hair Juicer. I think it's because she's listening to her little earpieces and whatnot. I'm still not 100% convinced her earrings are Bluetooth, but I bet she's got an earwig in. I bet she's got something in her ear feeding her answers because she doesn't know anything. She sounds so stupid. I mean, I'm glad that she doesn't say all the time like KJP, but she just sounds like she's lying. She spends too much time thinking about what she's going to say the low quality nonsense that she says. You know, it's fine to consider your thoughts when expressing yourself, but when she does it, it comes out as word salad because she's just developing lies. She's not forming solid answers. She's just trying to convince you that she knows what she's talking about when obviously she doesn't. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's always talking about what the American people want to the American people. Like, I don't want to hear what you guys want. I'm going to tell you what you guys want. That's not how America works. And Americans don't like to be told what they like and don't like, what they can do and can't do. Americans do not like that shit. And, I mean, you could see it. You saw the MAGA rally yesterday. You saw how it was. Hair Juicer, what are you saying that for? Oh, I see. I couldn't figure it out. That's one way to say fuck Jeff Mack. You know, I figured it out. Holy. True Crazy, you didn't waste no time. You don't waste no time. I'm going to have to make a thing for Thoughtbot. So if you type it in the chat, Thoughtbot will have a funny response. Someone typed Subaru earlier. I think it was Salty Ragu. I forgot that I had Thoughtbot with that triggered answer there. Trigger Crazy, I bet not one Harris vote was burned. I bet you're right. I bet you're right, Trigger Crazy. Alistair, so I hit an Antifa message board Saturday night and all posting their arsenal. That was interesting. Yeah, Alistair, that's how it goes. I think they'll be out November 6th. I think we'll start seeing Antifa again, and we'll be covering it. Matt, so does that make everyone that ever performed at Madison Square Garden a racist, according to the Democrats? Tin Man, there's no eating too much acid. There's just permanent vacations. Normal Times, another brutal grocery shopping trip yesterday. Vote Trump. Yeah, I hear you, Normal Times. Jeffro, Summer of Love 2.0. Well, I hope it's not that bad, but I hope it's that entertaining. Nostalgic, did you see AOC and Tampon Tim gaming yesterday? So phony and cringe. I didn't, but I did see people posting that AOC and Tampon Tim were going to be on Twitch. They're going to be on Twitch gaming it up. I thought it was satire. I didn't know it was a real thing that happened. Amarain, I know what I want. I want my groceries to not be $200 for freaking 10 items. What the fuck? Yeah, Amarain, I hear you. I eat the same thing every week. I eat the same food all the time because I got a bad stomach. And I think about going during the plague, like back in 2020 when people were scared to go to the store and the people at the front doors would harass you if you had a compliance cloth on and all that shit. And I think about how much money I would spend back then versus how much money I spend now. And it's like 3 or 4 times over for the same food because I only eat a few things. I'm only willing and able to cook so many things. And so I know I'm buying the same food, the same amount of food, but the price is so much more. Got to vote President Trump in. We got 8 days. Peyton, you're going to vote tomorrow? That's badass. Puff and Stuff, my ballot was received this morning. It was read all the way down. Hell yeah, Puff and Stuff. Free the Texan, well, it's Dropbox ballots, so probably not any Trump supporters. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. If it was 2020, I'd probably think that. I don't know. Because voting early wasn't a popular thing until now. And now you even got people like getting mad at you if you don't vote early and stuff. But like I've said before, I think voting early has to do with your area for one, and two, your endurance, your willpower, your determination. Because the biggest bitch about going to vote on election day is what if the machines go down? What if they have problems? What if the water main breaks? What if blah, 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 blah. Like I said, I'll stand there all day. I'm already going to walk an hour to get there. I'm not worried about it at all. I'm going to walk there. I'm going to be there. I'm going to hang out there. Anything suspicious happens, I'm turning the camera on. And that's that. And I'm going to be there until I can vote. And that's it. They can't turn you away. When you're in line, you're there. You're there. They have to let you vote. So I'm going to vote on election day. And I know everybody's saying to go vote early because if the machines go down, then you're going to be turned away and you're going to have to do some other stuff, and you might have to go to work, or you might have to do this, or you might have to. There is nothing. I'm not doing anything that day but voting. I mean, we'll probably go live, but I'm voting. That's all I know is I'm voting on election day. Got to vote. You got to vote. Alistair, any serious individual with half a brain actually gives a shit what celebrities think? Yeah, I don't think so, Alistair. Only undecided people, like severely undecided people, like 18-year-olds, because 18-year-olds don't have anything. They don't buy groceries on a regular, so they don't know if the prices are higher or not. They've never paid rent. They've never paid on a mortgage. They've never paid on a car loan. They've barely had a job that gives them full-time, hours, 40-plus hours and stuff like that, because dealing with minors is a fucking nightmare, so they always get shorted on their schedules and stuff. I think full-time for a minor is like 20 hours or something like that. So what do 18-year-olds know about the world? Nothing. They don't know shit about the economy or anything that we're voting on. They don't know shit about like border crossers or any of that stuff. They don't know anything about the stuff that they're voting for. So all they have is who looks cooler. Who's the cooler looking president? And that's all they got. And so the celebrities might be able to sway those dumb 18-year-olds, but everybody else has been paying rent and dealing with crime and dealing with work and dealing with prices, the price of gas, the price of food, dudes in women's sports, the fucking Olympics. You saw how that went. Everybody's tired of that shit, but 18-year-olds don't know about that. So they're swayed by celebrities, but the rest of the country, I don't think any of us really care about what Diddy's party list cares about. Reading through, and I'm watching this live event over here. I'll give you guys a peek really quick because President Trump is supposed to be on stage in 2 minutes after it's been pushed back 2 hours. We'll see, but we are near the end of our news. I don't think we covered it yet. No, the ballot box stuff is coming up. Then we got 10 minutes of the Kill Tony performance from yesterday, and then we have our official funny video of the day titled Trump on Trump Violence, and that's a really funny short video. Either way, reading a little bit more, but this right here, this is live. So we're just waiting on President Trump to get on stage. Bibsy. Just took my Subi off-road this weekend. Good times. That's badass. What do you got? Bibsy, I got my Outback's getting. Oh, that sounds gay when I say it. The Outback is getting worked on. It's making a howling noise. They think that it could be opinion bearing, but they don't know. And I called them and asked them about it, and they were like, "Oh, I'll call you back in 5 minutes." And then they never called me back. So after the live, or maybe when President Trump is speaking, I'll try and give him another call, see if I can get an update on the Outback. Oh, you got a 2020 Forester? That's badass, Bibsy. Do you like it? The old Foresters used to have problems, but the new ones are still so new that, there is no common problems right now, but all the new stuff looks awesome. Bibsy, you love it? That's badass. I love that. That's awesome. Lone Wolf voted today. No one there. 4 new kids, first-time voters. Proud of them for caring. That's badass, Lone Wolf. Heck yeah. I can't wait to vote. I'm so excited for it. Secret Squirrel, I'm guessing you're a carnivore. I'm omnivore, right? I eat vegetables and meat. Secret Squirrel, what happens if you vote early and the place they store the ballots gets set on fire? Well, it depends. I don't know, Secret Squirrel. I don't know. I guess it depends. Because they haven't been counted yet. They're not going to get counted till Election Day. Well, you'll see. When we cover this next video, they have instructions for what to do if you dropped your ballot off at the drop box and Antifa showed up, or any other Democrat came to burn all your ballots. They have instructions on what to do in those areas. But what do you do if your area doesn't report on it? When they don't tell you that someone did that? That's the real question. Then what do you do, What's up, Energy Woman? Happy Freedom. What's up, Status Quo? Happy Freedom to you. What's up, Joe Santo? Happy Freedom. Sam, what are you doing over here on the communism platform? Come on, man. All right, hooligans. We're going to get into our last little bit of the news here. And that way, if President Trump speaks on it, you'll already know what he's talking about. Let me get this pulled up and I'll read the title to you again. Hold up a second. All right. Here we go. Once again, this is ballot drop boxes set on fire in Oregon and in Washington State. Let's get this rolling, hooligans, and don't forget, hit that like button over on Rumble.
And an investigation is underway following the discovery of an incendiary device inside a ballot box in Portland. Meanwhile, in Vancouver, Washington, ABC affiliate KATU captured the moment heavy smoke was seen coming from inside a drop-off ballot box. ABC's Alex Stone is tracking that for us from the LA Bureau. Alex, what's the latest on these incidents?
Well, we're just getting details on them right now, Diane. Two different incidents, the one at 3:30 in the morning in the Vancouver or in Portland, and then 6:30 in the morning in the Vancouver area. Those two only about a 15, 20-minute drive apart from one another. And police in both of them, we know the FBI is now looking into them. Police say they don't know who did this. You can see in this video right here the smoke coming out. In the Vancouver incident, they know that there were hundreds of ballots that were in that drop box and that it involved ballots that were dropped off from 8 a.m. yesterday morning. The last pickup in the box was at 8 o'clock.
How can they tell whose ballots that is?
FBI is responding. Police don't know. Was this vandalism? Was it something more organized? They are investigating it, but just in the last couple of hours, the fire's breaking out.
So what are election officials saying to anyone who thinks their ballot may have been in one of those boxes?
Yeah, they're saying if you dropped off your box or your ballot in either of these boxes after 8 a.m. yesterday morning when they did their last pickup, that you need to contact the election auditor's office and let them know. And they will know and try to track where your ballot is and if they can get to that ballot and if the ballot burned in that box. But there were, at least in the one in Vancouver, hundreds of ballots in the box that did burn. But they say that they will be able to track that down. All of this a concern. The ballot boxes are a target for somebody who may want to make a point. We know in the Vancouver area there is a tight congressional race going on. They don't know if that is involved in this. The FBI is responding. Police have now put out the fires and firefighters have put them out. Arson investigators are looking into it, but they are beginning their investigation. And was this something to try to impact the vote, to destroy those ballots? Was it somebody just doing something, putting something in there to try to create a scene or to get a reaction? They don't know as of right now.
All right, Alex Stone in LA for us. Thanks, Alex.
You got it.
Holy. Just got a box of ashes there. So it's up to you to know what time you dropped your ballot in the box. And if you did drop your ballot in the box at that time, then it's up to you to call those people, figure out if terrorists burned your ballot or not. And then it's up to you to go and fill it out for a second time because someone else is a piece of shit. Is this how they expect to win the election? I mean, it's so stupid. Everything they do is so stupid. So stupid. They, like, drop a 1 in the chat if you think MAGA did that shit. Because I don't think so at all. Portland and Washington State burning ballots? It sounds like Antifa. It sounds like the same bastards that burn our flags. Well, like I said, hooligans, that is all the coffee I had. Well, it's all the news I had for you guys today. We are waiting on President Trump to get on stage. He was expected on stage 5 minutes ago, and that was after being pushed back 2 hours. So hopefully he'll be walking out on stage pretty soon. If not, we will get this Kill Tony video started. Like I said, we're going to play 10 minutes of it. It's titled Comedian Tony, I don't know how you say his last name, Hinchcliffe, speaks at Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden in New York City. It's so funny. Only really soft and stupid people get offended by it, and it's so controversial, and I don't know why. I think it's just because it's hilarious. So we're going to play 10 minutes of it, and it's so funny. Either before or after Trump gets on stage. We'll give him a little bit of time, but either way, we're going to read through the chat really quick, see what your hooligans think about those people setting ballot boxes on fire, and wait for President Trump to get on stage. 10-man Fruit Loops up to no good. Yep, I agree. I'm seeing everything but ones in the chat. You know, it's the damn Antifa out there. Yep, all methed up on their fentanyl and all that. Zero, those ballots were dusty. They were toast. Here, Juicer, you crack me up. Styling, I know. Styling in the cowboy hat. Thank you for being here, Annette. Matt, fuck, I hate living close to Portland. Yeah, I bet. Somebody needs to do something about those assholes out there. Ted Wheeler thinks he's one of them. I don't know. Somebody needs to do something about it. Just going to let Portland be an ongoing dumpster fire? I don't know. Oh, is it coming out? No, I don't think so. I don't see enough people standing up with phones out. I don't know what's going on. It's not a rally. It looks like a rally. The title of this event... No, hold on a second.
To happen again. But until then, Republicans must win. And we must use every appropriate tool available to beat the Democrats. They are destroying our country. Whether you vote early, absentee, by mail, or in person, we are going to protect the vote. That's the most important thing we have to do, is protect the vote. Keep your eyes open, because these people want to cheat, and they do cheat. And frankly, it's the only thing they do well. We will make sure your ballot is secure and your voice is heard. Many Republicans like to vote on Election Day, and we must swamp the radical Democrats with massive turnout on Tuesday, November 5th. The way you win is to swamp them. If we swamp them, they can't cheat. It just doesn't work out. But if you can't make it, you need to make a plan, register, and vote any way possible. We got to get your vote. So with your vote, we will win a victory the likes of which no one has ever seen before. We will evict crooked Joe Biden from the White House, and we will take back our country on November 5th, 2024, the most important day in the history of our country. That's what it's going to go down as. Thank you.
We got to vote, 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 and win, win, win. Hopefully President Trump's coming out soon. Maybe that's what this is. Maybe this is the introduction video.
We will expel the warmongers from our government. We will drive out the...
Grab the URL and share it out so everyone can hear from the president.
We will throw off the sick political class that hates our country. We will rout the fake news media, and we will liberate America from these villains once and for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage State Senator Greg Dolezal to lead us in today's invocation.
Good evening, Georgia. Now, I've got a quick question before we get started.
This guy looks almost like Pete Buttigieg.
You saw recently Kamala was at a rally, and a group of Christians got chastised, and she told her they were at the wrong rally. Anybody hear that? See, they had the audacity to speak truth, and she told them they were at the wrong rally. So before we get started tonight, they called me up here to pray. So I just want to be sure before we pray, am I at the right rally? If I believe in American exceptionalism and that we can indeed make America great again, am I at the right rally? If I believe that our inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, am I at the right rally? If I believe that we should protect our border before we send our men and women around the world to protect others, am I at the right rally? If I believe that women's sports should be reserved for actual women, am I at the right rally? And if I believe that the time has come to send Kamala Harris back to California and Donald J. Trump back to the White House, am I at the right rally? And lastly, and maybe most importantly, come on. If I believe that if God's people who are called by His name will humble Himself and humble themselves and turn from their wicked ways and pray, that He will indeed hear our prayer and heal our land. If I believe that, am I at the right rally? If you would, please stand with me. Gentlemen, ladies, please remove your hats. We're going to call on heaven together. Father God, with a word, you spoke everything that we know into existence. You are over all things, and through all things, you are made holy. We recognize and declare your sovereignty in this place tonight, God. We know that every government in this world rests on your shoulders. And so in light of that, we pray for your mercy today. We pray for your favor on President Trump and Senator Vance. We pray for your favor on this nation that we love so much. We pray that we would know your mercy and your kindness, and that through us, you will be glorified. It's in your name that we pray. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome State House Majority Whip James Burchett to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I'm going to say a few words here before we go to the pledge, but I can't agree with you more, Senator. Are we at the right rally to elect Donald J. Trump or what?
I think what just happened, and I think we were seeing speakers at the upcoming rally that's supposed to happen at 6 p.m. Eastern time, and they just cut away to this is the live event. It's supposed to be a national faith event, I believe. Let me read the title really quick. This is President Trump attends a national faith summit in Powder Springs, Georgia. So like I said, I think they were showing us footage from the rally where those people were speaking, and they cut that off because President Trump made his way out on the stage. So I think that's why that looked abrupt and shaky like that. But like I said, if you haven't shared out the link to the live, please share it out on social media. When you guys share out the live, it is a lot more influential than when I share it out, although I still do. Please share it out, that way everyone can hear from the president. And if you haven't hit that like button, hit that like button. See if you can get us on the front page of Rumble.
Thank you very much. That is a lot of religion out there. That's pretty good. We like that.
President Trump, we are so honored to have you join us in front of this very, very important faith summit. You are my friend, and I am so blessed to have been a part of your life. Some people don't know, for over 24 years as a part of, I feel, not only family, but your pastor and an advisor. And I got to work in the White House and represent People Faith as senior advisor to Faith Initiative and Opportunity. One of the greatest honors ever. We have thousands of pastors here and faith leaders, and their number one issue that they want to know about is, what about your faith? Let's talk about, how is faith formed in you, and what does it mean to you?
Well, thank you very much, Paula. And you have been. I've known you for a long time, and she's a great person, a great woman. And really, it's an honor. It's an honor. It really is. And she's a hard worker, too. Boy, does she work. And, I advised her. She had some property, and she grew out of the churches. She got bigger. She was going wild. And in Florida, I met her, and she called and asked for advice. One of the churches it was in the middle of nowhere, and she had big, I mean, the number of people going every Sunday. And she said, you know, they've offered me money for this land. I can put it to very good use with all the people that need help. Should I sell? I said, you might as well sell. Take the money right now because it can change really quickly. And she'll go a little bit further out. And she just kept doing that. I said, this is a great business. This is pretty good. But she put the money to great use, and you've helped so many people, and it's really great. And really nice to know you. Really nice to know you. Thank you. Look, we're going through a lot of problems in our country. If you take a look at the anger, the problems that we have, and a lot of it is that it's less based on religion now than it was 25 years ago and 50 years ago. And I mean, we were people would say, a Christian and really religious, even other faiths country. And that seems to be heading in the wrong direction. And I think as that goes down, I think that our country goes down. I really do. I think this is a country that needs religion. It's like the glue that holds it together. And we don't have that. That's why you are the most important people. And I'm not sure you even realize it. And they're trying to hurt you. They're trying to stymie you. This new administration, this new radical left group of people, and it's not so new. It's been around for a while, and they are people that are not nice people. If you happen to be Catholic, we don't have too many Catholics here, maybe, but boy, they are persecuting Catholics. I actually said, how could a Catholic possibly vote for Kamala? How could that? I mean, the level of anger and the level of vitriol. You know, when you see what's going on with the FBI and the Catholic Church, I say, what is happening? And you know, the expression is that you're next, because everybody's next with this group, and they have a very bad agenda, and we have to stop it, and we have to win this election. I think winning this election, I think it's going to be the most important election in the history of our country.
Absolutely. So let's go back for just a minute. Let's go back into your childhood, because you didn't start going to church when you were a politician. Church was such a formation of your faith, going to Sunday school, going to the Presbyterian Church, Norman Vincent Peale's, Billy Graham Crusade. Talk about the formation of your faith as a child.
So when I was very young, my mother was from Scotland, and she was religious. I don't know as religious as some of the people in this room, but she was religious. She was a believer. And my father was a real worker, and he was religious too, but he was working all the time. And a good man, great heart, a very strong guy, but had a great heart. And I remember would walk down the street, some street, and there'd be somebody holding a cup. You don't see it too much anymore, but you used to have, and they'd have pencils, and they'd actually sell you pencils. But he'd always put $100 in that cup, always. He'd never pass that cup. And then $100 is probably like $1,000 today, right? So, but he was always very generous in that way. So I grew up in Queens, and, oh, good, we have a lot of people. Good. It's good education. Getting through Queens is pretty good education. And that includes Brooklyn and a lot of other places, actually. But Queens was good. We had a very nice area, really a good area. But my parents thought going to church was important, and we'd go to church. But I really went to Sunday school, and I learned, and Sunday school really took place a lot of times on a Saturday. Does that make sense? Does that still happen, Saturday? I call it Saturday church. And we'd spend an hour, and we had some very good people teaching, pastors, ministers. I think we called them probably more ministers. And the church was associated, it was called First Presbyterian Church. And it was a very old building, but a beautiful building, white, just beautiful building, actually. And I'd love to go back and visit it sometime. I haven't been in that area in a little while, but I'd love to go back and visit it. But it was a great feeling. So I went to Sunday school on Saturday, and sometimes we'd have a little Sunday school after the church service, but most people liked it actually on Saturday better. And I did that for a while, a number of years actually. And would go to church. And, the bottom line is it made me feel good. Even at a young age, it made me feel good. Sometimes you couldn't get out of there fast enough, I have to be honest with you. And sometimes a lot of it depended on who was there and who was your teacher. One of the things that did happen as I grew older, we went to Marble Collegiate because my father was in Queens and Brooklyn mostly, and I started there, and then I went to Manhattan and started doing things in Manhattan. I became much more Manhattan-oriented, and I started a church, Marble Collegiate Church. It was a beautiful church, and down on Fifth Avenue in the 20s. And I started going there, and that was Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, who wrote the book, The Power of Positive Thinking. And I was telling stories about him. I don't know if you'd like me to do that, but
I'd love it.
he was a great, you could call him a pastor, I think, or a minister, but I never differentiated actually with him. But what he was is an unbelievable speaker and loved God, but he was able to speak. And, this doesn't often happen. And when the service was over, you were disappointed that it wouldn't continue. He would tell stories of modern day things as it related to the Bible. And he was actually an incredible storyteller. He told the story of Alfred Sloan, who was the founder of General Motors. And he was down and out. He suffered from massive alcoholism and lots of other problems. And then he came back, and Norman, and he rose, and he'd tell the story about a man who became a great business leader. General Motors, especially. I mean, you could say especially then, because at that time there was they didn't have a lot of foreign competition. This was a whole ball game, and it was the biggest at that time. And he did a phenomenal job for a long period of time, and he became a very religious man, actually. But he told the story in great depth and detail, and it was always so fascinating the way he spoke. And I watched, because I didn't know him as a young minister or preacher, because a lot of people call him a preacher, and I just called him a religious man that made religion very interesting. He made all aspects of religion very, very interesting, and probably it was the way he did it, his performance in a sense. But I watched him for a long time. I got married in the church, and he was the minister. And then what happened is I watched him get older, and he was still great into his late 80s. And I watched his last sermon, and he got up to the lectern, and he looked at the audience, and he said, "I just can't do this anymore." He was just very tired, I was there, actually. It was amazing. And the whole church got up. And the church, by the way, you see some churches aren't getting big crowds. This church was packed every Sunday. When he spoke, every Sunday. And then they had the flow rooms, I guess they called them, where you had rooms that had like television sets or whatever it was, closed circuit, I think they called it. And you'd sit there, and you hoped you didn't go there, but it's a reasonably big church. But sometimes, and they'd have them all over the place. I mean, they'd have all these rooms with it, and some of them pretty good sized rooms. The place was packed all the time. But I watched him as he got up, and he said that. He just said, "No, I can't do this anymore. I won't be able to do this." It was his last sermon, and he always stood to the left of the lectern, and he was holding it, and he always held it, let it go, hold it, and walked around a little bit, but he was very comfortable to the left. I remember always, it seemed that, but he was holding it with his right hand and just said, "I can't do this anymore." And he was, I don't know if he hit 90, but he was not a young guy, but he was a fascinating person to watch. He was great. He was great. The other person that I found incredible, because my father would take me to Yankee Stadium to see Billy Graham, right? Billy Graham. And that place would be packed, and he was amazing. And he was, that was another one. And he had a gentleman who would sing "How Great Thou Art." You know who that is, right? Of course. And he sang it, Shay, that's right. He sang it for years, and my father thought it was the greatest. It was, I I said, well, compare this to Elvis's version. Later on to my father, long later, but, you know, Elvis, this was before Elvis almost. But I said, Dad, which is better? He said, not Elvis. And we all like Elvis, right? But, you know, he was just, he was great. But Billy Graham was great. He had an influence. He had a real influence. And it's nice to see Franklin Graham doing so well. He's doing so many things for so many people.
You know, it's amazing because your faith has played such a role in your actions. Like when you mentioned Franklin, many people don't know that even recently you organized and gave $7 million to Samaritan's Purse for the North Carolina disaster relief. Amen.
Well, like, you couldn't give it to a better person. It's amazing. Yeah, we raised a lot of money and we gave a lot of money. I had a friend of mine, Steve Woodcoff, he gave him $1 million or something. They are just, a lot of people are very generous, but Franklin does a great job. He's always, whenever I go to, because as president, I do it a lot. You'd go to a tornado or you'd go to a hurricane. I mean, I saw a lot of very bad things. The destruction of nature is amazing. Some of these tornadoes, the big ones I watched, and I'd look, and it was like cut by a razor blade. The damage on the left was 0, and the damage on the right was devastation. It would be like when you'd fly over it in a helicopter, you'd see a straight line, as straight as it could be, but it was literally cut. A tree on the left wasn't touched, a tree on the right was turned upside down, and sometimes it was 500 yards away. Amazing, the power of nature. But whenever I go there, I see Franklin. He's always there. He's always the first one to... I said, I'm going to beat you to one of these sites one of these days, Franklin. And he really means it. He's a good person. I mean, I had one problem with Franklin. Should I tell him the problem?
Sure.
She's saying, uh-oh.
It's a great one.
No, but I was telling... I tell stories. We have these big rallies. Last night we had a great rally at Madison Square Garden. And sometimes I'll use a little bit, not hard foul, but soft foul. We call it soft foul. But, you know, to emphasize something about somebody's capabilities or whatever I might be talking about. And I got a letter from Franklin, and I met him at the airport. It was on a visit that I made to North Carolina. At the airport, he was there with his planes and everybody, a lot of people. Boy, he gets such great volunteers. They're really going. So anyway, I got a letter a couple of days later, and he says, Mr. President, it's Franklin Graham, and I just want to tell you, I love what you do. I love what you say. I love your stories. I think they're great. And keep telling them, but they'd be even better if you wouldn't use foul language. And I went, true. I said, ooh. I didn't know. I wasn't sure. Was I supposed to be honored or not? But he said the foul language, so I thought about it. And I said, I'm going to try. And I did try. And I'm not sure I'd make the emphasis quite as good. I've been pretty good about it. But I'm not sure. Every once in a while you need a little bit of something, a little spice to juice them up a little bit. But I got that letter and I sort of laughed. I said, I'm not sure you're right about this, Franklin, but I'm going to give it a shot. But he's done a fantastic job. But so many of the people I know here that we just met backstage, I mean, they have been so incredible to us. And we've had them at the White House, a lot of the pastors and respected people. I recognize a lot of them just originally by just seeing them on television for so many years, right? Including you.
I was going to say, people don't realize that we met, literally, you were watching television and called me out of the blue. And I'll never forget, you said, you've got the it factor. And I said, oh, sir, we call that the anointing. And that was our hello. And from the Swaggart families here, from Reverend Jimmy Swaggart to so many other great people that you watched.
Is Jimmy Swaggart here?
He couldn't make it, but the whole family is
I
over
love
here.
Jim. Where is Jim? I love Jimmy
Donnie's
Swaggart.
Here.
I don't even know if he likes me, but I think he does. But I love. Where's Donnie? Where's Donnie? We got to see Donnie.
And they literally have one of the biggest networks.
Hi, Don.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, say hello. How's he doing? Okay? That guy is a talented guy. So are you, by the way. Good job. Good job. Say hello to him.
And I think
terrific.
So many people don't know this side, so we've taken a little bit of time because I have had the up close and personal seat in your life, to see God in your life. And we'll talk about faith offices and economy and immigration and everything in just a moment. But, you know, the media attacks you relentlessly, and you've been under lawfare and the absolute worst. I'll never forget Ralph Reed and Joanne, where we were at the Journey concert, my kids, and somebody said the president's been shot. And I froze, like so many people. I started crying and started praying. But when you rose up with fight, 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 woo!
Thank you.
I think so many
See, this means she likes me because she's got tears. If she didn't have tears, no, she does. She really does. She's a great person. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. It was very difficult for so many of us that do dearly love you and not only respect you as president and what you've done, but love you as the man. And we understand that. And I think the world got to see in one of the worst situations that you knew and know that that wasn't luck, that that was God, because he has a purpose in your life. So share just a tiny bit about God in your life now, and because we all have these journeys of faith. We have ups, we have downs, we fall, we get back up, but you've consistently had this deep respect and honor of God in your life. And that day, I think, showed the world when you knew that God saved you for a purpose.
Well, thank you very much. That was quite a day. But we had a tremendous crowd in Butler, Pennsylvania. And, it was an amazing set of circumstances. And, my two sons are shooters. They're very good, very high quality. They'd be like a scratch golfer or better. I mean, they're both very good. They know everything about guns, and they learned it from their grandfather. They spent time in Europe, back and forth during summers and all, and they're very good. But they understood, they know exactly what the weapon was that they used, that this person used. And it was 130 yards away. And when Don called me first, he said, somebody was protecting you up there, because it's almost impossible for even a bad shot to miss you from that distance. Now, he didn't miss me. Probably an eighth of an inch is the difference. And it all happened to be because I was looking there to the side on a chart on illegal immigration. Can you believe it? That famous chart, that now famous chart. But I never do it. It's very interesting, because if you look at the circumstances, I never do it. I never use that chart at the beginning, and it's always on the left. I never do it at the right, and I only use it maybe 15 or 20% of the time. I don't use it for every speech, and I go off teleprompter a lot, which is, I think, better. But it's nice to have a president that can go off teleprompter, right? We don't seem to be having that. We don't seem to be having that much anymore. But anyway, so I was talking about something, and I just said, pull down that chart if you would. And I turned to the right very quickly, and ping, and I knew something was real bad. And I went down. I think I was screaming, probably go down, because, I don't think I would have been that. If you see the thing, which you've only seen about 10,000 times, it's probably the most played clip ever. But if you see it, the move down was pretty fast. And I think I was probably listening to different people, including Secret Service, to get down. But no, I got hit. And, hit hard. And but it was an eighth of an inch. And I was down there, and some things are surreal. I was asked a question the other day by a big journalist, what was it like when you won the presidency? And in fact, it was Joe Rogan that asked me this question. It was very good question. I thought it was a good, and you know, I talked about it. It was sort of surreal because all of a sudden I'm riding down to the White House and I'm passing a building that I just built, a hotel, Pennsylvania Avenue, beautiful. And I sold it to Waldorf. It's a Waldorf Astoria now. It's nice. And it was very successful. And then we go down a little further and we're at the White House. And then all of a sudden I'm standing by the Lincoln bedroom. I said, you know, that was such a surreal experience. But when I was shot in front of, you know, massive numbers of people, tremendous numbers, you couldn't even see the end. And I was down there. I was absolutely, I fully understood what had happened. I was shot in the ear, and the Secret Service thought I was shot elsewhere. They thought I was shot much more than once. And I guess 8 bullets were shot, and the Secret Service person shot 1. Also helped, but as I understand it, probably by the local police who shot 1, also hit the rifle, and Secret Service guy hit the target. But both of them, you know, played a very big role. Otherwise, you would have had a much, because he had a lot of ammunition, this guy, a lot of people. And it was wall-to-wall people. It would be like, you know, taking everybody, going back as far as you can. It was as dense as it is right in this room right now. So it could only hit people. But I knew exactly where it was. So I knew it was my ear. They said no. I said, no, it's my ear. I got like 7 or 8 guys sitting on top of me. They were heavy. They were very heavy people. And anyway, and by the way, they were very brave because, you know, they jumped on top of me and the bullets were flying right over their head. They were Secret Service was very brave. They were very brave. And, you know, they really were. It was incredible. I heard the bullets. You know, I didn't know. You hear those things are moving, and you hear them as clear as you can, as clear as I hear you. So anyway, but what I did see is when you're in that position, you have like this feeling that usually a lot of times you wouldn't really understand. I had total, but when Don called me up, he said, Dad, you know what? For 130 yards, to me it sounded pretty far away, but for a shooter, 130 yards is like nothing. And he said, it's a miracle that that's when I first realized it's a miracle that bullet just hit your ear. It's a miracle. But if I didn't turn, so all of these circumstances, if I didn't turn at that exact angle, because he was right exactly 90 degrees, he was exactly there. If I didn't turn, if I turned halfway, no good. If I turned a little bit past that, no good. It had to be that exact angle. And I was going further, but this was the angle, and this was when the bullet came in, because 100th of a second later, I would have been turned too far, because I was going further, another 25%, because the chart was back here. So I was doing that, and it went by. And he said that, you know, God has to have done this because it's impossible. Think of all the circumstances when you think. Amen. Think of all the circumstances. You're turning. That's big luck right there, right? Big something. Something happened that you'd be just in that position. And it was only 1/8 of an inch off, right? So it's like, I mean, it's incredible. But also, as I said, I'm never right. I'm always left. It's always at the end. I'd never take it up at the beginning. This was almost the first sentence of what I was talking about, right at the beginning, first paragraph at least. And so it was very early. So there were so many different things. And I remember Don, and then it was confirmed by Eric. Eric said, I can't believe it. And when I got to the hospital, the doctors and everything were great, unbelievable. But it was, the ear bleeds a lot, just in case you don't want to find out about it. But the ear bleeds a lot. The doctor said like the most in the body has to do with cartilage. I don't know, but man, there was a lot. And I said, why does it? He said, let me tell you, before I tell you that, I suggest you go and buy a lottery ticket. The doctor told me that. I'm sitting in the... I said, why? He said, you are the luckiest guy. I've been doing this for 25 years. That I'm even talking to you is a miracle. Or that I'm talking to you is a miracle, right? Absolutely. So somewhere, all of us, we had a little help up there. And I would like to think, and I don't know this at all, but I would like to think that it's because he wants our country and maybe the world to be helped. Wants our country to be helped. God wants our country to be helped. It would be a really nice thing to say that. But now we have to win an election too. So I hope number one, we win the election, and I think we're doing very well in the election, by the way. But I hope we win the election. And we have to get all the Christians to get out there and vote because, I shouldn't scold anyone, but Christians aren't known for being very solid voters,
Show of hands, how many of you have done early voting already? Yeah, and stats are showing us we are going out by the droves.
Who is going to vote?
Yep.
Okay, a little bit more. That's good, because we're leading in all the early votes. And that's unusual. Usually the Republicans aren't leading in early votes. They're usually, in fact, oftentimes very far behind. We would be 20 points behind. Sounds like impossible, but then you'd win because they'd come out on, a Tuesday, and everybody would come out on Tuesday. But we really have a good but we're leading, and that's very unusual to be leading. Almost, it's not done. I don't know what this is. The Democrats always vote early, and the Republicans always vote late. The Republicans want to see the vote go into the hopper. The old days it was a hopper. Today it's a machine, but they want to see that. They want to see the vote go into the machine, and so it's great. We have a lot of people. I was at Penn State the other night. I said, "Who voted?" And they raised their hand. About 15% raised their hand. And the beauty of that is that means that all those other people. Then I said, who is going to vote? And the whole room practically raised. I said, I like that because we already have those votes and we're leading with just a small. So we have a chance to do unbelievable things. So I hope everybody goes out and votes.
And President Trump, we recognize and believe, too, that God has saved you for a purpose and that there is a country to save and, as you said, a world. And in your first term, you created the Faith Initiative and Opportunity Faith Office. We fought for pro-life, Supreme Court justices, religious liberty, prison reform, second chance. Alice Johnson, John Ponder are here. So many different people are here. We had 10,000 faith leaders.
Is Alice Johnson here?
She's here. Alice,
really?
where are you? Give a big...
Alice! I love Alice.
And
oh, wow. Hi.
Yeah.
Is it going well? She's a great woman.
Amen.
You know what should I tell just a second of your story? Because she was put in prison for being on a phone call. She wasn't making it. She was on a call, and it had to do with things that pretty much are almost legal today. And she was on a phone call having to do with drugs, and she was having a hard time. And they gave her like 50 years in jail. And a group of people came over and they made me aware of it. And I said, that sounds very unfair. And she had already served, is it 22 or 23 years, Alice, or something, right? 23, I mean, think of it. She had like 28 years left. And first I gave her a commute, and then I gave her a full pardon. And I called her in. So good to see you. I called her in, and she came to the Oval Office. I said, so how many people are, because she's a great woman, she's a really good woman, too, good person. And I said, how many people are like you in jail? She said, a lot. I said, everybody? Because I was testing her, because I know some deserve to be there, right? Alice, if you would have said everybody, I wouldn't have probably listened to it. She said, no, by no means. Some are very bad people, rough people. But she said, some are great. I said, can you give me a list? And she gave me a list of a lot of good people that are right. I hear they're doing really well, too. So we got them out of jail, too. Great to see you. Thank you. Thank you, Alice. We love Alice.
And there's so many things to accomplish, and people want to know when you win, as things come forth, what happens for you in the second term for Faith Office? What's your administration look like?
So, well, first of all, we're going to set that up, and we'll be talking to you and all of the people that we just met and anybody else that you think is appropriate. We'll have, but it's important, and it'll be directly into the Oval Office and me, so we'll do that. No, we have to save religion in this country. I mean, honestly, religion is under threat in this country, serious threat, and we can't let that happen because I really believe it's sort of the fabric of our country. It's the thing that holds our country together. We can't lose it, and we're not going to lose it. We're not going to lose it.
And President, I know your time's limited because we're all going to go to the rally tonight. You've got a special invitation to go to the rally, guys. But we want to ask you a few more questions, and we've got Gary Bauer here because if you just heard what the President said, that Faith Office will be in the Oval Office in the White House and directly reported to him because that, to him, is one of the most important things to people is that we remain very strong in all of our faiths. And we are so grateful for that, for you being a protector and a fighter for religion and faith and our freedom to protect. Gary, amen.
Mr. President, right here in the front, sir. Hello.
Gary Ballot, right in
here.
the very front.
Oh.
Hi, Gary.
Yeah, yes, sir. Great to see you again. Great to see you again. Particularly after last night when you turned Madison Square Garden into MAGA Square Garden. I thought that was fantastic.
Great night.
Yeah, sir, everybody in this room, millions of people like them all over the country are already voting for you. They're going to vote for you 8 days from now. And the main reason is, they love you, of course, but the main reason is simply gratitude. The things you already did in your first term. It's a Christian virtue to be grateful when somebody does something for you. So you deserve the vote of every Christian in America.
Thank you, Gary.
My question is about your second term, because one of the big issues right now that this loser of an administration is inflicting on us is they've taken the entire power of the federal government, the Justice Department, the Department of Education, and they're trying to smash young women by making them compete against men in athletics. And so these women are getting physically hurt. Not only that, but they have to tolerate going into a locker room or a shower or a bathroom with biological men. So they're losing their places of privacy. She also wants, as you know, Kamala Harris, to give surgeries to prisoners in our federal prison system and illegal aliens to change their gender and use taxpayer money. Sir, you've raised this dramatically and consistently when a lot of Republicans won't talk about these issues. What do you plan to do on this in your second term and when we see you after Inauguration Day?
So, and you know, it's almost, and Gary knows this better than anybody, it's almost amazing that we even have to have a question like that, isn't it? Because who would think that men should be playing in women's sports? If you would have gone back, let's say, Gary, 10 years ago, I think, but 15 years ago, the concept of men playing in women's sports, it would say, what kind of a question is that? That doesn't happen, does it? The concept of surgeries, they call it transitioning into, from a male into a female or whatever. It's so incredible that we're talking. And I like to say that we're the party of common sense because to a certain extent, whether you're conservative or not conservative, it's like we're the party of common sense. I'll give you another example. Who would want open borders where prisoners from all over the world are allowed to come into our country, where criminals are bust into our country and we accept them, where murderers, 13,099 to be exact, over the last 3 years, are allowed to come into our country? That's what we're doing. It's crazy. They're destroying our country, but it's going to end on day one, Gary. We're not going to put up with it. All right? Day one.
So good. I know we only have a few moments, but Kelly Shackelford is here and has a question for you as well, of First Liberty.
Mr. President, first, I just start with 8 years ago, I asked you the question about judges, and you promised conservative judges. Thank you for fulfilling your promise.
Thank you.
The concern I want to ask about is, as a religious liberty group, I mean, all this weaponization of the government we've been seeing against religious freedom. You mentioned the FBI investigation of Catholics. We've got all these, we had the Navy SEALs case where they were trying to throw all these people out of the military because of their religious beliefs on the vaccine mandate. I just wonder if you have any plans to turn this around if you when you get in office, and to be able to do something to change things in the way they've been going.
Well, the mandate was a terrible thing, and a lot of good people were hurt very badly by, they just stuck to their guns, and that's it. And they ended up getting thrown out of a lot of different things, even beyond the military. They were thrown out of jobs and everything else. That was horribly handled by Biden and by some other people. But as far as overall, we have just plans to do it right. We're going to do it right. And again, that's the same kind of a thing. We can't hurt people, and we have to use sense. We have to use common sense. We have to use judgment, good judgment. We lost so many great people in the military. And they have a hard time getting people in the military. We lost so many great people because of the vaccine. If you want the vaccine, or if you don't want the vaccine, but you can't be forced to take it, and if you don't take it, you're going to lose your job. And we lost a lot of people, so we're talking already about that, where they come back and they get their full back pay, et cetera, et cetera. So we're talking about that. Thank you.
President, let's talk about Israel. You made promises. I always say promises made, promises kept. And Israel was a big one. 5 presidents had campaigned on that as candidates, but did not follow through. There were so many other things you did, from, of course, Iran, and basically defunding them and bankrupting them, to UNESCO, to UNRWA, to the Taylor Force Acts, to recognizing the Golan Heights as sovereignty and Israel the sovereign right to stand for themselves. Tell about the embassy, because that's such a story where everyone put you under pressure. What happened, and how did you make that decision?
Well, I think I've been better to Israel than, I have been better to Israel than any other president by far.
He's on fire!
Thank you very much, everybody. As Paula mentioned, we did Golan Heights. We did the Abraham Accords, a big deal. Yes. That was incredible. Nobody thought that was possible. And if we were there, you would have had that filled in, maybe even with Iran, because Iran was broke. They had no money. We had sanctions on them. I told China, if you buy 1 barrel of oil, you can't do business in the United States anymore. And they said, we'll pass. And I said that to a lot. And all I wanted was Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. I just wanted, that's all I wanted. Very simple. You can't have a nuclear weapon. And, we are closer to a World War III right now than we've ever been. Between Russia and Ukraine, and the Middle East is all exploding and going crazy. We are really very close, and we don't have competent people running our government. They're incompetent people. And it's a very dangerous thing. But Paul is alluding to, because I told her the story one time, when I was campaigning, I said that we'll make Jerusalem the capital of Israel. And a big part of that is you're going to move the embassy. When you move the embassy, I guess it's semi-automatic, right? And so I was going to do that, and I was all set to do it. And I was being called, I guess 6 or 7 presidents promised, and it was promised without question. But then they never did it, and I never understood why. But I do now, because when I got to office, I was inundated with calls from very important countries and unimportant countries. Everybody was calling me, don't do it, it'll be bloodshed in the streets. Don't do it, it won't be good, don't do it. Anyway, but I was going to do it, and I promised I was going to do it, and I felt there wouldn't be bloodshed. I was right about that, by the way. But they said there'd be bloodshed. There was every bad thing. So I started getting a lot of calls because people were hearing that I was going to do it. And I don't want to say but who, but you can imagine, from the biggest countries, from the most powerful countries, I was getting calls from, and specific countries too, and would like to speak to the president. Would it be possible? And they said it was about Jerusalem and the capital, becoming the capital of Israel. And that means, they were going to try and talk me out of it. So this was on a Thursday, and I said, would you tell them I'm going to call them back on Monday? So good. Then on Friday or whatever day it was, I announced that I was doing it. And I did it. I got it done. And then on Monday, I called everybody back. Hi, what's up? What do you want to talk about? And they said, oh, that's we wanted to talk. But by that time, it was already, I mean, it was out there, and there was no, I was told that the whole world was going to explode if you did that. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen. And importantly, I got it built. Once we were there, General walked in, sir, would you please sign the following papers? I said, what's that for? $2 billion to build an embassy. I said, $2 billion? Are you $2 billion? This is the United States. That's why Elon Musk is going to do a good job cutting costs. He was great last night. But I said to David Friedman, the ambassador, a very good guy, I said, David, is there anything we can buy there that's like we can renovate and fix up and have an embassy fast? Because you know that if you're going to have an embassy, they wouldn't have the embassy built for 25 years and it would cost a fortune. And they wanted to buy this site, which was not a great site, but it was a tremendous amount of money. So he calls me up the next day, he says, we have a great site. We've been there a long time. We have a great site and there's a building on it. It'd have to be renovated and we can renovate it. And the bottom line is it was a much better site. We owned it already. We didn't have to spend any money. And I spent almost nothing. And we got it built in about 4 months. We renovated the building for less than $1 million. Think of it. So we saved $2 billion. And just a little cute story. A friend of mine is in New York, a very rich guy, very big Wall Street guy, and he's got Jerusalem stone facing the elevators in a big building in New York, very prestigious building. He's got Jerusalem stone. And every time I walk in, he said, he's Jewish. He's so proud of the Jerusalem stone. He said, Donald, this is before I was president. I don't know if I've been up there since. But he would always say, look at this. It's Jerusalem stone. After about 10 times, I said, you don't have to tell me it's Jerusalem stone anymore. So anyway, so now I'm in Jerusalem, and I have to renovate a building, and I want to do it quickly so I get the embassy open, and we have it, and it's done. And that way it's sort of more permanent. It's not where they can change it and go back. So the contractors are all there. Everybody's around. They say, can you use Jerusalem stone? And is it very expensive? They said, no, it's cheap as hell. It's the cheapest thing. We have a lot of it. It's all over the place. So we did the whole building in Jerusalem stone. And it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's known as such an expensive stone, but it wasn't expensive for me. So anyway, we did a good job. We got it built. We not only named it, we got it built. And it's a beautiful embassy. There's no reason for them to do another one.
President, there's so much we'd love to talk about: economy, immigration, and you can talk about as much as you want. But the one thing I want to definitely leave us with, I've had this front row seat of watching you as a father and a grandfather. I love when Eric would tell this story. He'd be 5 years old, and you'd line him up to go to school. You'd say, no drugs, no alcohol, and no smoking. And Eric's like, but I'm 5 years old. And your children are some of the greatest people, and your grandchildren on this planet. And we know the importance of family and leaving a legacy. Many of us are fighting because we're moms, we're dads, we're grandparents, and we've had good lives. But we want to make sure that our children and our grandchildren have an inheritance and have the same freedoms we have. Talk about your family and how that works and plays out in your policy.
So a lot of people ask me about, raising their children, they have children. And I've known a lot of families, very smart families, very substantial families. It doesn't matter whether you're not, but some of these people are very smart and very, very rich. And their children were very smart, but their children never had a chance because they started drinking at an early age or they were on drugs. And I add cigarettes because I just added cigarettes. It's not a good thing to be doing. It's been proven it's bad. So I might as well add it. It's only about a second extra. And no cigarettes. What is that, a second or a second and a half, right? No cigarettes. But it's alcohol. Now, in those days, it was, I had a brother who was a great guy, handsome, best guy, best personality, everything. but he had an alcohol problem. And he would always tell me, no drinking. He was a strong guy. No drinking. You can't drink. No drinking. Because there were no real drugs. I don't think there were drugs at that time. That was a long time ago. And he'd say, no drinking under any because he had a problem. And he knew it was a problem. It's a hard problem to cure. Some people in the room have that problem. A lot of people have that problem, but it's a hard problem to get rid of. And he'd always say it to me, and I've never had a glass of alcohol. I never had a glass, literally. So, because of him. And if I did, I'm the personality type that maybe I'd have a big problem. I don't know. I mean, I think I possibly would. I'd have 3, 4, 5, bring them in, keep going. So I never had it. And, you know, the great thing about that is I have friends. I had a friend at the Wharton School of Finance, and he hated the taste of scotch. Hated it. I remember it so vividly. And would go out and order scotch, even though he hated it. No, he said, you got to get used to it, because when you're out in business, because he wanted to be a businessman, when you're out in business, you got to be able to socialize, and scotch is the hot thing and all that. And he became a tremendous alcoholic. I mean, sad. And I remember when he first started, I remember at the first time he ever had a drink, a very smart guy, he had a drink and he hated it. Oh, this is terrible. But he got to like it. And the one thing about it, I mean, I can speak to somebody who's never had a drink. I mean, literally, maybe over the course of a life, maybe a few zips, like just a zip of something that's nothing, but never had a drink, never had a glass of alcohol. And as somebody that has it or that never smoked, there's no longing to smoke. There's no longing to drink. There's no longing for drugs. There's no longing for any of that stuff. And that's for sure. But I know people that they drink, they're always, boy, it's a very hard thing. Even 10 years later, it's sort of a hard thing. And I always say to people, because it's a very competitive world, and these guys that would ask me oftentimes to be successful, what do I do? And by that time it was too late, because their kid was hooked on alcohol and hooked on drugs. Today probably drugs maybe is more prevalent than alcohol, but they're both a disaster. But I tell them, I say, and I used to tell like Ivanka, no drugs, no alcohol, no cigarettes. And I'd say it all the time. She'd go, Dad, leave me alone. Oh, you're such a pain in the ass, Dad. Isn't that terrible to speak you? But she meant it with love. She meant it with love. But I drive them. I would really say it a lot, too, because I've watched really smart kids, brilliant kids, get absolutely brought down. They never had a chance. They never had a chance because they got hooked. And you'll never get hooked if you never try it, if you never do it. So, I don't know. To me, it's good. Start them young.
Amen. And President, I know if you want to take a moment, you can, and just say final words to everyone, and then we're going to pray over you. And Danny Goki's going to come up and sing an amazing song that I think is going to touch all of us, and that will be our conclusion. But go ahead and take the liberty to share with what you want to share.
First of all, I don't even know if you know how important you are, because I'm talking to a lot of religious leaders, pastors and ministers and others. I think it's just an incredible job that you do. And sometimes you're not appreciated by the fake news media. Sometimes you're scorned by the fake news media. But I just want to let you know that the people think you're so important. I got rid of the Johnson Amendment, and I fought that very hard during my entire term, because they didn't want you to speak to people. And if you did, they'd take away your tax-exempt status. And I said, but these are the people that me and others want to hear from, and you're not letting them speak. What's that all about? And we're going to try and get rid of it permanently the next time. That's one of the things we want to do. We got rid of it during my term, but I'm going to put it in. And it's amazing that people would fight me on that, but they do. You have people that are against us, very much so, in politics and in our country. And sometimes I think maybe they hate our country. But you are so important. You do such an incredible job, and you keep the country together. And the more powerful you become, the better the country is going to be. So I'm just with you all the way. Thank you.
Amen. Will you let President President Trump know how much we appreciate him and thank him. And I'm going to ask for those of you who've been called on to come up and pray. We're going to go right over here, President. We'll just stand here. And thank you for standing. And we're just so grateful for all of you. Why don't you just grab the person's hand next to you, and we're going to pray together. As we come and just lay hands on President Trump, we believe that God not only hears our prayers, but he answers it. And I think it's amazing. We started in May, these groups, small groups, in May of 2011. It started as a prayer group. And you came to me and you said, you know, I don't like the way the country's going. And you said, I'm thinking about running for president. You said, what do you think? And I told you what I thought. And then you said to me, what does God say? And when you said that to me, I took that so serious. I called up many of the people who are standing behind you right now, and I asked them to come to Trump Tower. And that is where we had our first meeting and our first time of prayer. And look what the Lord has done. Amen. So we're voting, we're talking, and we're praying. Amen. Danny's going to sing My America. Beautiful video.
Country's far to go, even claim our fathers got it wrong, but I won't give up on us and not take a stand. We can overcome. This is not the end. I still believe in us. Oh, America, you're still the land I love. Stars and stripes still cry liberty over evil, over tyranny. But put out for our freedom, they sacrifice it all. I still believe in us, my America. Our history is for slavery. Heroes fought for equality. Now is the time to make peace and forgive our faults. Because tonight we stand, or tonight we will fall. Yes, my
Rise Up Broadcasting is just taking a shit right now for no reason. Come on, man. Oh, it's totally the camera person. Because you can see at the bottom there, it is still scrolling. So, I mean, they're still alive. It's not their YouTube channel. It's the camera person specifically.
All right, some technical difficulties during a very beautiful moment there in Powder Springs, Georgia. President Trump opening up about his faith and speaking about the role of God in his life. A great event there. As soon as that live stream kicks back in, we'll be going there live. Of course, I wanted to see it just as you did. That song there, then especially if they're going to be praying for the president here in just a minute. So, Director, please let me know if that's the case, if we are able to get that live stream kicking again. Not sure what happened there. Interesting, though, when it comes to things of spirituality, then all of a sudden something hits like that. Just saying. But of course, we'll be going there live back to Powder Springs if we get that live stream back up and running. So in the meantime, what we do know is President Trump will have two events today. Of course, that one there, this faith event, and then he'll be on his way to Atlanta for a huge rally there. RSBN's Bobby McNeely and Ashley Brassfield. You saw them earlier today. If you've been watching for a few hours now, they'll be the hosts in the field, picking up our live coverage in Atlanta, not too far from this location. So gearing up for that as President Trump, just on the heels of MAGA Square Garden, thanks to the New York Post for that great motto there, a headline, MAGA Square Garden last night, then of course in Atlanta today. He's not going to stop. He's got 8 more days of campaign.
All right. Well, it looks like we're not going to see President Trump get prayed for, which is kind of weird. It's kind of weird. I wonder what happened there. I wonder if the camera guy like tripped over the cord or something. Very weird incident. Either way, we're going to get into our funny stuff of the day. Like I was saying, President Trump is expected to be at the MAGA rally in 45 minutes. I really don't see that happening. Plus, we don't have 45 minutes worth of content left. So we will be getting through the rest of Coffee with Hooligans, and then we'll be live again 6 p.m. Eastern Time, or whenever President Trump is going to be on stage for the MAGA rally. He's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia. It's going to be a good time. But either way, we are going to play our first funny video of the day. And like I told you guys, it's going to be 10 minutes of Kill Tony's performance at the MAGA Square Garden that happened yesterday. Now, before we get into this, I want to remind you guys our last reminder of the day. If you would like to support the live to keep us running, you're welcome to use that Linktree link in the description in order to make donations. And you can do that by using PayPal, Cash App, Stripe, Locals, Buy Me a Coffee, or you can even send crypto. Plus, there is that wish list on there. If you would like to send me gifts or anything like that, you can check it out. It is also on the Linktree. Like I said, we're going to get started with this Kill Tony performance. We're going to play 10 minutes of it. The whole thing is, well, it is 12 minutes long. I could just play the whole thing. We'll see how it goes. Either way, this is titled Comedian Tony, I don't know how you say his name, Hinchcliffe or something like that, speaks at Trump's rally at MAGA Square Garden in New York. Oh, hold on a second. We are going to see them pray for President Trump. Let's do the thing.
That blessed is the nation whose Lord is God. And we just thank you for our fighter of faith and for freedom and for religion, God. And most of all, for our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And we give you all the praise and all the glory. Pastor Jensen and Pastor Travis. Pastor Jensen, I know you'll close it out here and pray over him.
Last night you mentioned that the other team are vessels. But I want you to know, and we want you to know, we believe you're a vessel.
Amen.
You're a chosen vessel. That's a Bible verse in the book of Acts that said Paul was a chosen vessel. And we're praying for God's blessing on your life. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine on you. May the Lord be gracious unto you. May he lift up his countenance, his favor upon you, and give you peace and blessing, and bless this nation. And we pray it all in your name, Lord Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Well, President Trump, we want to say thank you so much. We love you. We value you. We're praying for you. But I'm telling you guys, we've had a lot of praise and worship and a lot of great speakers and a lot of great information, and we're activated. Now, it just would not be a President Trump meeting without going out with a little bit of a dance. So here we go. Get your dance on.
Excited to see President Trump. Well, like I was saying, he's supposed to be on stage in Atlanta, Georgia for a MAGA rally in about 45 minutes, a little less, about 43 minutes. We'll see if he actually makes it on time, considering he's hanging out with these guys. I don't know how far away Powder Springs is from Atlanta. It must not be too far of a drive. I assume they're going to push back this MAGA rally from 6 p.m. Eastern time. But either way, I don't think we're going to be covering it during this live. But we will go live again and make sure to cover President Trump in Atlanta, Georgia for the MAGA rally. And it's going to be a good time. Kind of hanging out with President Trump, making sure he gets off stage safely. I assume he'll be okay. He's probably in a pretty safe spot. And Secret Service, well, they better be doing their damn job, you know. We pay all this damn tax dollars. The least they could do is protect our president till he gets inside the White House. Well, even, you know, beyond then. But either way, look at the guy in the background taking selfies and stuff. Guess I'm happy freedom to you. I'd love to meet Haba Haba. Yeah, Lena Haba Haba. Here, Juicer, I'd love to meet President Trump. Me too. Me too. NOAD. Outer Springs is about 40 minutes out of Atlanta, but the traffic, it's much more. Yeah, I assume they're gonna push back the rally a little bit. Well, I mean, there's already people there and whatnot, but I assume President Trump's gonna be a little bit late. Cricket Kiss, we know you have the assless chaps on. Dance. No. I'm not doing that right now. Jeffro, YMCA it out. No, we're not dancing today. I've been brushing up on my Trump moves, though. I ain't got it dialed in yet. You know, I'm working on it. Look at everybody in the chat. Pumpkin, Jeff Dance. No, you Hill. Jeff Dance or Klaus wakes up for the next 39 days at 2:01. He don't sleep at 2:01. He is nocturnal. He's up all night fighting communism while I'm sleeping. 8Co, come on, Jeff Dance. No, I'm not doing the thing. I gave you guys the Night of the Roxbury nod, you know. That's enough. That's plenty. Handicapable, you crack me up. What's up, Portland? How many times will Donnie shit his pants until people wise up? Well, considering he hasn't even started, I think you're going to be waiting a while. That's all right. That's all right. As long as you show up to cry on Inauguration Day, I won't ban you. What's up, Hooligans Island? Happy freedom. What's up, Donald? Happy freedom to you. What's up, William? Happy freedom. Pumpkin, you missed out. I was dancing. Well, you didn't ask me to dance, okay? You told me to go dance, but you didn't ask me to join in. There's a difference. There's a difference. I missed the opportunity. 8Co, Snooks, do you do the Trump dance good? She might. You never know. Snooks, I don't like assless chaps. Why? What's wrong with that? You know I get hot. I got heat intolerance. Trigger crazy. I wear a G-string backwards. That's nice. That's nice. You always learn something new here on Coffee with Hooligans. Diesel, more goat. I need all the goat. How many hands has President Trump shaken since he's been on stage? He's going for the record. What's up, Cody? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Ball? Happy freedom. Well, they're not going to let President Trump off stage. And we got to move forward. I'll keep an eye on President Trump. Anything crazy happens, I'll put him back on the screen. But we gotta get moving here. Let's see, got this rolling. We are going to play 10 minutes of Kill Tony's performance from last night. If you're soft and stupid, you're not going to want to watch this because he's going to hurt all your little fifis. But I know hooligans aren't built that way, so we're going to be all right. Like I said, this is Tony Hinchcliffe speaks at Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden for the MAGA rally. Let's go ahead and get this rolling. Like I said, it's going to be 10 minutes or so of hilariousness. And then we have our official funny video coming up next.
See, I come from the D where we got shades and we be flexing. If you ain't from my state, then you should know.
Playing that big X.
How we feeling, huh? Wow, isn't this special? 17 years ago, I was sleeping in my car behind the Comedy Store in LA, and I'm proud to say this is my 4th time performing at Madison Square Garden, the most famous arena in the damn world. The American dream alive and well right here. This is very different than where I'm used to performing, though. I'm used to nighttime with people drinking, not so many babies in the crowd, and people that are obviously only here for Lee Greenwood tonight. Normally, I don't make my political beliefs a known thing. It's divisive for a comedian to do that, but just know I sleep well at night knowing who I'm voting for. Yeah. When I lay down and my head hits my pillow, it is a fantastic pillow, by the way. I was staying at the Four Seasons up by Central Park one night, and I laid my head down, and it felt so good, and I thought to myself, what an amazing pillow. I have a little bit of money now. I could buy a good pillow. And I took the pillowcase off, and there it was. My pillow, my pillow, my pillow. And damn it, I bought 4 of them. And if you use the promo code KILLTONY, you can also buy 4 My Pillows. There's serious stuff happening, people. I live in the great state of Texas now. 18 years in Ohio, 20 years in California, and I got to see California turn to absolute horrendous thing. And traveling the world, I got to see San Francisco turn into one of the most demented cities, one of the greatest downfalls I've ever seen. And that is where the other candidate worked for 2 decades. And it's absolutely wild to see. And in Texas, stuff is really, really crazy. We're right there by a wide open border. Where are my proud Latinos at tonight? You guys see what I mean? It's wide open. There's so many of them. It's absolutely incredible. Believe it or not, people, I welcome migrants to the United States of America with open arms. And by open arms, I mean like this. It's wild. And these Latinos, they love making babies too. Just know that. They do. They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. They come inside, just like they did to our country.
He's on fire!
Republicans are the party with a good sense of humor. Free speech is under attack, people. I host a show, and each week I get updates what words we're allowed to use and not use anymore. It's happening right now the past few years. It's a real thing. And, you know, used to be able to tell people to Google stuff. My mom's a boomer in the state of Ohio, and there's no convincing her of anything. She's eating the cats. She's eating the dogs. They're eating the pets up there. It is absolutely wild times. It really, really is. And, you know, there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. Now, again, normally I don't follow the national anthem, everybody. This isn't exactly a perfect comedy setup. There's some people here. All right. Very good. I like it. I have other policies that I think it should be implemented as well. Like me personally, I think football should be all year round. Yeah. So many great athletes. I don't know about you guys, but I think that Travis Kelce might be the next O.J. Simpson. Feels good in here. The other side's got a lot of crazy endorsements. Swift, Eminem, Leo DiCaprio, Beyonce. Every day the Democratic Party looks more and more like a P. Diddy party. Oh, okay. Okay, that's what you guys want. All right, heck yeah, it's cool. Black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that, a lampshade? Look at this guy. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm just kidding, that's one of my buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We had fun, we carved watermelons together. It was awesome. You guys are, this is a groany little morning crowd, huh? It's tough to follow this audition for the next Commissioner Gordon's over here. It is, though. It's crazy times we're living in. I mean, all these pointless wars. It is unbelievable what's happening right now. It is incredible. Ukraine versus Russia, Israel, it's like bad soccer games. Who even cares? What are we doing? Why is our money involved in these wars? When it comes to Israel and Palestine, we're all thinking the same thing. Settle your stuff already. Best out of 3. Rock, paper, scissors. You know the Palestinians are going to throw rock every time. But you also know the Jews have a hard time throwing that paper. You know what I'm saying? All right, we're having fun now. We're cooking. Hillary Clinton said that this is a Nazi rally here today. Can you believe that? For the most anti-war president of my entire lifetime, and she calls him Hitler. Let me remind you, Hillary, it was your husband who shot innocent people, or as he called them, interns. Yeah, Hillary, I bet you did not see that one coming. By the way, if I commit suicide in 3 weeks, I didn't.
Make America great again.
I mean, it's just obvious to me who the right candidate is. There's a guy out here dodging bullets. It is unbelievable, right? He took it right in the ear. Unbelievable. I thought about this. I don't know if you have. Coolest place to get shot. Like if you're gonna get shot anywhere on your body, that's where you want it. Right there. Technically, he got shot in the head, depending on if you're a Democrat or a Republican. Right? If you're a Democrat, his ear was grazed. If you're a Republican, he survived a headshot. It is. It's the best place to get shot. It's the only part of the human body will drive a piercing through like a little girl's ear for no reason. Right? There's just no, it heals fast. Nobody cares. It's the best place to get shot. He went down, saw blood on his hands. I'd imagine he thought right then, I think I just won this shit. Stands up and says the most American words I've ever heard in my life. No. Before that, there was one more. Let me get my shoes. Fearless. Perhaps still with an active shooter. He's talking like a guy that just had the best one-night stand of his life. Right? Like, where's my shoes at? I gotta get the hell out of here. Let me get my shoes. And then the fight. What he did was so cool that Biden got COVID. Oh, yeah. Go back. Look at the timeline of everything again. 3 days after that. That means that Biden, he didn't get that from hanging out with sick people. He was in a sterile room in the White House watching blood running down Trump's face as he pumps his fist. Biden's like, oh, fuck. Oh, God, no. It's true. Trump survived an assassination attempt and Biden got COVID. We vote next week. God voted 3 months ago.
Yes. Like I said, played 10 minutes of Kill Tony's performance yesterday at the MAGA Square Garden. Man, they were kicking ass yesterday. It was such a good rally. I wish I could have covered it. I was not able to. I'm so disappointed that I couldn't. Either way, we're going to get into our official funny video of the day, and then we will be wrapping things up. But like I said, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, President Trump is expected on stage in Atlanta, Georgia. I assume he will be late, but as soon as he is on stage, we will be kicking off the live. But we'll worry about that when we get there. Like I said, we got one more funny video. It's coming up next. Let's get this pulled up. Let's see. Oh, yes. Now I remember. This one's titled Trump on Trump Violence.
The guy's here to fix the leak on your solid gold faucet.
Send them in.
President Trump. So funny. So funny. What a sense of humor. Well, hooligans, that is all the coffee I had for you guys today. I'm going to drop this link tree link to all of you hooligans. Then we're going to be doing the Pledge of Allegiance and wrapping things up. But like I said, we will be live as soon as President Trump is on stage in Atlanta, Georgia for a MAGA rally. It's going to be a good time. So hopefully you guys join me on the next live. Here's the Linktree link where all of my links are listed. So if you would like to make donations, join membership programs, or purchase any merch, I would really appreciate it. All of your guys' contributions keep us running every day except for Sunday, because we've got to have a day to recharge those batteries. Definitely go join Discord. Discord is our free hooligan community. It's the best way to be notified every single time we go live. The hooligans are there keeping the conversation going 24/7, and we have 2 news boards that keep you up to date with everything going on around the world. So definitely go join Discord. If you're feeling real saucy, go join jeffmaclive.com. Over on the website, it is the best way to experience the live. Our built-in chat has more ability than any other platform. You can post memes and GIFs and custom emojis and all kinds of stuff right there in the chat while watching the live. You'll also have access to Hooligans Alley, which is our own private social media area. You'll have access to our forums. You'll have access to the arcade. You'll have access to our advanced messaging system where we all gather in the group chats, 6 p.m. Eastern Time Friday, which is a lot of fun. And the advanced messaging system gives you the ability to text each other, call each other, video call each other, group texting, group calling, group video calling, and more. I'm constantly working on the website, making it the place to be. So definitely go get yourself a membership for jeffmaclive.com. It's the home of the hooligans. Going to read through really quick to see what you hooligans thought about today's coffee. We will be doing the Pledge of Allegiance and wrapping things up. But like I said, we will be live again as soon as President Trump is on stage in Atlanta, Georgia for this upcoming MAGA rally. Russell, the Rogan Show was awesome. I agree. I watched the majority of it. I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I don't have a lot of free time to be watching movies and stuff. Let's see. True Crazy. Rogan said Trump is a great comedian. High praise. Yeah, I see that. I agree. I think President Trump, he's got the timing. He has the timing. Oh, I appreciate you being here, Breeze by You. Russell, well, damn, Trump roasted himself. I know. It's a good one. What's up, Nefties? Happy freedom to you. Russell, I do love this guy, Kill Tony. That was the best clip of Kill Tony that I've seen. I think he's okay. Kill Tony reminds me of Josh Hawley. He's just the gay comedian version of Josh Hawley. Like, for some reason, the way they look, the way they talk, their mannerisms, they could have been twin siblings. They're very close to looking alike and behaving the same. Thank you, DCat. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, Mary Todd. Thank you, Little Irish. And happy Freedom Tree Herder. I meant to say that like 2 or 3 times. I kept getting sidetracked. Neurodivergent. Yeah, we have experienced certain glitches, words that don't come through, people typing words in the chat and they don't land in the chat. We have experienced that kind of stuff. But right now, the damn visual glitch is the big problem. It's going on 2 weeks. They keep telling me they're going to fix it, and then they haven't. Pumpkin, he reminds me of Seinfeld. I think he's pretty funny. I like that he's not being all scared, not being all timid like everybody else is who gets on TV. You know, I'm so sick of the bullshit. Being politically correct is just following communism. That's really all it is. What's up, Pumpkin? Happy Freedom. Not Happy Freedom. Thank you for being here, Pumpkin. That's what I meant to say. Hopefully I see you at the Trump rally. Appreciate you, MU. Thank you. What's up, Contempt? Happy Freedom. What's up, Susan D1? Happy Freedom to you. What's up, Irish? Happy Freedom. There's someone else I seen in the chat. Let me see. What's up, Gambler? Happy Freedom to you. Appreciate you joining us. What's up, Teasel? Happy Freedom. What's up, Lenny? Seen Chris Cola in the chat, but they seem ticked off. I don't know what the hell that was about. Chris Cola, I'll be penciling in Jesus Christ on my voting ballot. Peace. Okay. I don't know why. Chris Cola used to like being here. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. It's either my fault or it's Trump's fault. You know, when you show up, it's one or the other. It's never outside of that. Either I did it or Trump did it. What a badass, Sam, out here voting and stuff. That's awesome. I can't wait to go vote. All right, Snooks, thank you for letting me know. Appreciate you, Sam. All right, hooligans, it is that time once again. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Got a cat hair in my throat. I don't know how I did that. Either way, like I said, we will be live again shortly. President Trump is expected on stage in Atlanta, Georgia in about 20 minutes. I do think he's going to be late, considering that first live was already pushed back 2 hours. So I assume he will be late. I don't think he'll be very late, but time will tell. Either way, as soon as he gets on stage, we will be starting off the live, covering him until the MAGA rally is over. And if I don't see you tonight for President Trump live at the MAGA rally in Atlanta, Georgia, I will see you tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time, for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. We're going to read through the chat one last time just to make sure no hooligans are left behind, and we're wrapping her up. Zero, did you see the message I wrote you about Alistair? I love you too, hair juicer. Appreciate you, Nana. Thank you, Matthew. It's all cat hair, Alistair. It's what kitty did it come from. Appreciate you, Wayward. Thank you for being here. Neon Love Machine. Klaus has been marked saved from the Haitian barbecue. Yeah. I got to keep him indoors until President Trump's in office, you know. Can't risk it. Can't risk it. Can't lose my sidekick here. Thank you, Stern. Appreciate you being here. Contempt. Jesus isn't a bad option, to be fair. No, it's not a bad option, but it is a vote for Hyena Harris, unfortunately. It's just the way it goes. Okay, don't be mad at me. I think everybody should vote for Jesus, but you know how the damn election shit goes. So don't be all bent out of shape out of me, okay? Keep that shit to yourself. Appreciate you, Irish. What is your name? What's up, Thought? What is your question? Hooligans Island hairball? Something like that. Hairball or a fur ball? Well, I plead the fifth. Plead the fifth, drink the fifth. Thought, you're going to miss supporting Trump's 2024 campaign. I personally will miss typing Trump 2024 MAGA. What do you mean? Oh, you mean like covering it? We got to cover his whole presidency. I'm not worried about missing President Trump. We got 4 years of covering President Trump, and it's going to be fucking awesome. Because if you think he's on fire now, you should see him when he's handling problems. Everybody crying and pissing and moaning about pronouns. President Trump comes out and he's like, "You're fake news. Shut your ass." Like, he's just slapping them down. I love it. It's going to be a great 4 years coming up. Can't wait. I can't wait. All right, hooligans. I think we're good to go. Russell, quit eating pussy then. You mind your business. Don't tell me I live my life, Russell. I'm an American. I eat as much kitty as I want to. All right, hooligans, we're wrapping her up. But like I said, we will be covering President Trump in Atlanta, Georgia, as soon as he gets on stage. He's expected on stage in 16 minutes. I really think he's going to be late, but I'm going to pull everything up and get it set up as if he is going to be on time. And as soon as he's on stage, we'll launch the live. Huge shout out to everyone that made donations, joined the membership programs, or purchased any merch. I really appreciate all of you hooligans, and I wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much for all your support, and I'll see you on the next live. Until then, stand tall, shine bright, and that's a wrap.